Okay.
All right, how do I sound now, guys? Sorry about this. We're just trying to
Oh,
get things
okay.
going.
You sound good now.
All right, and
Oh, but and they can hear us.
all right, well, good.
Hooray!
So
Let's get enough.
we're a little bit louder than you.
I turned you down a bit.
All right, let's just not touch anything anymore. Because
Okay.
obviously,
This is when like the power's gonna surge and go through my headphones and zap my brain. All right, guys, we're going. And you're just gonna see a W's coming out of the keyboard, like on the chat window. That's the funniest thing in World of Warcraft is when you like, back in the day, I'd be running around and you'll have some guy like run up to you and like Stranglethorn and be like, "Hey, help me! There's a rogue on my www because they're trying to run forward, but they have the chat window open, so it just says W. Quickly, get out! All right, 901, 210. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
210.
All right, let me go ahead and grab a picture to use. I should have had this ready.
Faster, faster.
All right, we'll do this one because it's got you in it, Tommy. You drew it. And
God, it's so old. I know which one you're talking about.
I know it's the one with
Speaking of nostalgia,
the fedora.
this is I drew this for you guys the first time you interviewed me. That never got saved.
That's why we need to interview more artists so we can get more stuff.
Yeah, 'cause I'm not.
If we interview better artists, no, I'm joking.
It's so true. It's so true.
All right, I'll even bring my microphone closer this time. Hello. How do I sound? Do I sound all right?
Cider Splice just made us fan art right now, like legit right now.
Probably like 3 lines. All right, so last check for on our speakers and audio, guys. Are we good to go? Live stream, we good? Loyal, I need a thumb up. Or Gavin.
Do we got a thumb up?
No, I'm waiting. Up, here we go. Everybody said we're green to go. We're green to go for the last episode of Bernie Breakdown.
Oh my god!
I know. What episode is it?
Episode Who Cares?
Don't know.
Somebody just drew us fan art. Let's. I gotta copy it. Oh, it's too late now. The chat moves too quickly.
I just put it in the Skype chat.
Oh, let me see. And here we have. I hope it's not porn.
Oh, we got another thing too.
Look at that. Well done. Let's use this one. August 7th, 2014. Best of
Why
luck.
are we getting so many already?
I knew it. Oh, well, let's at the when we're done talking, like after we get to a certain part of the show,
yeah.
we'll check it all out. So,
Yeah.
guys, if you send it to Loyal, if you have it, and he'll compile it. Like I just kind of threw Loyal right into it. Loyal, you do it. You got it. Well,
Those ones to the brain. So
welcome to Bernie Breakdown, episode something. I am Saber Spark,
I'm Paleo.
and I'm Tommy Oliver.
and this, my friends, is unfortunately the last episode for the Bernie Breakdown series. I know that we said we'd come back for another season, but due to changes in our schedule and life and whatnot, we've decided to close shop. We also feel the show's getting a little bit repetitive, and we want to keep you all, we want to keep things interesting, where it's not the same thing over and over to the point where it gets stale and dead, like some TV shows we know. Not My Little Pony. I was gonna say.
I thought you were implying.
I was like, come on, Steven, think of a show to say so you don't sound like you're saying My Little Pony. What shows would you say have like
SpongeBob?
Oh, there you go. Thank you. They make another movie.
I know.
Are they really?
It looks.
Yeah, they're and it's going to be 3D.
It doesn't look half bad. It doesn't look half bad, actually.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
We should all go see it.
Nah, let's go see something else if we hang out. Like Galaxy Art, not Galaxy Art, Guardians of the Galaxy. Holy crap! I just said that.
I already saw it. Let's go watch Galaxy Art.
Carl's like, "What are y'all doing? We're watching you. We told you we would." Oh, so for this episode, we're just gonna go out with a bang. That's right. We're gonna have Josh Dean, the con head for BernieCon. He'll be joining us in about, I'd say, 10 or 15 minutes. We'll be chatting with him about BernieCon and the convention and how it went and future plans and just sharing memories and stuff. We'll bring in a bunch of friends. This is like a shotgun episode. We're just going to grab everyone, just throw them in here. So we'll see what happens. Shoot them? Yes. No. We're going to... We'll prattle our sabers. Ha! Okay, so... I've never made that joke. Shut up, Tom. Tom. You know, who are you? Where did you even come from?
You quit, and I had to replace you.
That's right. That was a thing, wasn't it? How long ago was that? How many episodes ago was that?
That was like 10 episodes or something. I had like a good 10 episodes before you decided to can the show.
The show just wouldn't die. It's like, I'm not going down to that easy. Nah, it's we were talking on the pregame about the show and when it began and how it grew over time. I mean, it's been a fun journey with its ups and downs, more ups than downs. The downs are kind of just life being weird, but we started in early 2012. It all started when I finished Battle of the Brony, and then I saw Paleo's video, and I'm like, who's this guy? He stinks. I hate him. Oh, hey. Talked on Skype. I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going? I'm a huge fan. And what was it, like 2 weeks later or like a week later, we talked about a podcast?
Yeah. Because I remember you made an update video saying that I want to do some other things with the fandom and just keep doing stuff. And you were talking about doing a podcast.
I wish I would have kept that video. Yes, so I did, and Paleo and I talked about it. It's funny how the name came about. I was driving to get some dinner. I saw a car on the side of the road, and it was broken down. And I'm like, oh my god, Bernie Breakdown. Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure if that story is true or not, but it's the first
I remember you always saying that you drove past a pasture of cows, and you said, yeah, Bernie Breakdown.
That's it! Yeah, the cow stuff! Why cows? Why
I was about to say, what the hell are you talking about?
So always changes. Yeah. I was having a mental breakdown, and I thought, that should be a good name for a podcast. So, all three happened at once. So here we are. We're also talking about the first people we interviewed, like Tarby and Dusty Cat, Fim Fam Philosophy. It started off where it wasn't live.
Yeah, we were just doing pre-recorded episodes, and we were like posting. We would make. I remember Saber made the first one where it was just we talk about content. We didn't like look at it at the same time, so we were just like trying to like figure out like, yeah, I saw that. No, I didn't.
Oh yeah, that was it's cool. And we were trying to like figure out each other's chemistry because we were still like new friends at the time.
Yeah.
I remember. Oh gosh, I had something I was going to say, but I completely forgot. I remember. Oh, it was my live stream for the Let's Plays.
Yeah, you were doing Amnesia.
Yes, I was being completely original, not copying anybody who's a popular live streamer or YouTuber, and playing Amnesia: The Dark Descent. And I remember it started off with like 12 viewers, 20 viewers, to the point where it capped at around 50. And I'm like, oh wow, this is actually getting some traction. Then I got verified on livestream, and I capped around 100 or so because it was like the last part of Amnesia, and I beat it. And then after that, it's like, hey, let's do our podcast as a live stream. It's a fun dynamic. Let's give it a shot. And so we did.
Yeah.
Good times.
And we did that for a few weeks, but like we did it every other week. But then like Final Draft contacted you.
Yes.
About doing the show on Everfree Network.
I remember that. Just coming out of the woodwork and on Skype, and he's like, "Yeah, you want to join this? You want to join this network?" Because I did a little thing for the Equestrian Choir, which is another show on Everfree Radio at the time, and it was a cooking segment that I filmed where I put cups on my hands like hooves, and I just broke like eggs and bowls and stuff like that in my kitchen, like a cooking show for cake. And then that's Final Drafts. That was what convinced him to reach out to me to get the podcast or the live stream on Everfree Radio, along with like Dusty Cat. No, I never did another collab like that, which is a shame because we always had like visions of grandeur of like, yeah, let's do a collab again, but not too often. I think we were one of the first like big podcasts. Like I think EQI, Stay Bernie, My Friends, and Bernie Breakdown were the main three that kind of established EFR as far as like its lineup of shows go. Though there were other ones. Oh, good times. And then because of the podcast, we were invited to BernieCon 2012.
No, we weren't.
Yes, we were.
We weren't invited.
Well, no, Draft kind of spun it around to where he's like, we get a spot on that panel.
What?
You did have a panel.
Yeah, we did have a spot on the podcast panel, but like we weren't invited. We still had to pay for our own tickets.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I was using invite a different way than you did. We were we were told we could. Never mind. So yeah, we did that along with some other podcasts up there. That was a story of its own.
Yeah, and that was a horrible panel.
That was.
I don't know if it's uploaded anywhere, but
I hope not. I hope not.
Like if you could see that panel uploaded anywhere, you can see the anger in my face.
Yeah, you were mad. You were mad. I was like in the third row watching you guys. It was like, Paleo's not happy.
I've never seen Paleo angrier in my life. And it was funny because I remember because I was sitting next to him, I looked over, he was shaking with wrath. And I was like, "What's like? Do you want a lollipop?" Because I had a lollipop, and we had lollipops.
That's true. You did do that.
Because someone on that panel was being really obnoxious, and I won't say names. My Little Dashie, but yeah,
Wow.
she was
That's a name.
She was being really obnoxious. She doesn't do anything anymore. Yeah, I can call as I see it. But funny enough, it was like that was our first main panel as a show, as anything in the fandom. It was a rough start, but then we had
Everfree Northwest is
Yeah.
where we really like did things.
that was fun.
Yeah.
But at BronyCon 2012, we met the third person on our team, Mr. Tommy Oliver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was when we met in person. Because I remember Paleo reached out to me because I did the Scootaloo book, and he was like, "This is really cool." And then we started talking, and then I met you at the con, and then we did the interview for the Brony Chronicles, and then I just kind of tagged along with you guys, feeling like I'm not worthy to be with these guys. Oh my god.
Worthy,
You're
we were
being
nothing at the time. You kidding me? We were like,
I was less than nothing then. I was just like, oh my god, they're gonna get so mad that I'm still here.
well, I was actually wondering, like, who's this guy following us around?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like,
I remember it took me forever to realize that Hirasashi was Hirasashi, because I had talked to him a couple times, and then it's like, oh, that's Hirasashi. It's like, oh, because he was with us too that year.
Yeah.
That was a fun con.
that was a fun con. The fire, the fire, the fire.
The
bed.
Lauren
The
Faust.
fire,
Remember,
the parade
remember Lauren
out,
Faust was
out in the middle of the
actually
street.
around. That was fun.
My God, that was such a. BronyCon has improved vastly since then.
Yes, it has.
Va-
Yes, it has.
Vastly, but yeah, that was. It still makes for good memories.
It does. It does.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about memories before we bring in Josh Dean. Is there anything else y'all want to bring up besides the typical like fashion and Bernie Breakdown and how we just like cover content and that shindig?
I think it's interesting how each convention has like definitely a different kind of energy to it. From 2012 to 2013 to this year, they all felt a little bit different, you know.
Explain.
I don't know. Maybe it's just my perspective, but like 2012 definitely felt a lot like quieter. I think it was definitely much more like kind of like a. I don't know. It just had. I guess maybe it's because nobody knew who I was then, so I was just like another con goer, just like, oh my god, look at all these people that I've heard about on the internet, and you know the place caught fire, and Lauren Faust was there, and it just had a different kind of energy. It was a lot smaller. It was a lot less people. And
Yeah, it was more crowded though because
Was it
it was
like-
a much smaller place.
2000,
yeah, but there were
right?
less people. It
Yeah.
was 2012, yeah. And like
Jeez.
I remember I actually had a lot of downtime then. Like I actually spent a lot of time just in my hotel just like waiting for things to happen, which has never happened since.
Yeah, we were barely at the con because we were doing the interviews.
That's right, because you guys are up in your room like the entire time interviewing people.
I'm trying to think of the one con where I actually went to like be a con goer because BronyCon, the first one we were working.
Yeah, I think Equestria LA probably
Did we have any?
because
Did we have any
we didn't
panels?
really do interviews. We did a little bit of footage, but that's about it.
Do we have any panels?
Uh
I don't think we.
what did we do at Equestria LA? I mean, the first one I don't think we really did anything, but
Disneyland. We went to Disneyland a lot.
I didn't go because I wasn't there
Oh.
for the first one. I was there for the second one for Equestria LA 2013.
Yes.
And yeah, and that's where we premiered Brony Chronicles Part 1.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Huh. So we worked at all three BronyCons. We worked at Candlelight Gardens, Unicon.
Oh,
my.
God.
Oh god.
You guys have been at a lot more conventions than I have.
Oh, I've been to a ton. I go from never been to a con in my life to going to like I think I've been to like about 11 or 12,
Yeah, I've been to 11. I counted up the other day.
which is insane. It's like wow, 11. So I went to BronyCon 2012, 2013, 2014, Candlelight Gardens, Everfree Northwest, Unicon, Equestria LA twice, Fiesta Equestria twice, and there's one more I'm forgetting.
We all almost went to Sweet Apple Acres.
Oh, MSP.
Yeah, MSP, yeah.
Sweet Apple Acres Con. Oh, that was
Oh God.
that was a trip. You know,
that
No, it wasn't.
or a trip that never happened.
Let's
Speaking of cons, do we want to bring in Josh Dean?
do it up.
Yeah.
All right, let me drag him in here. Mr. G, look at his awesome profile picture. It actually looks professional and cool, unlike our.
I can't see it because I'm not friends.
Look at that. Look at Tom and Paleo,
Oh, there it
and
goes.
then Josh Dean looks
There
normal.
it is.
He just hung up. He's like, just kidding. I'm not joining.
He says one
These
sec.
peasants.
He's like, who are these guys? Just kidding. All right, God. Because BronyCon 2011. There he is.
Oh, Jesus Christ, what's going on here?
Josh, how are you?
I'm all right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus, can you hear you?
Yes.
Hey, he's on the videos.
That's a problem. You shouldn't be able to hear yourself. You might want to get some pills for that.
Well, I can't hear myself through your stuff.
Oh, that's okay then.
Good. Josh, we were just talking about conventions, and we thought it'd be a good time to drag you in here.
Why would you think that?
Well-
I don't even know.
Well, don't you dabble in conventions?
Oh, I suppose. I dibble and I dabble a little bit.
Well, what do you dabble in exactly? Like,
Oh, just running them, I guess. Well, one of them. One that no one's ever really heard of.
the one they had in Arkansas, right?
They had a convention in Arkansas? Are you sure
Wait, did they?
Are you talking about?
I'm not-
Are you talking about the one in Wyoming?
No, the one in South Dakota. No, East Virginia. Oh
East
no,
Virginia?
no, the one in
What in
Baltimore.
America?
Oh, you mean BronyCon?
That's the one.
Oh, holy crap! Oh wait, PG-13?
We don't care.
The one in BronyCon. Whatever. Switch those words around. I forgot you guys aren't on EFN anymore, so you basically don't have a filter.
We can say words like poop now.
Poop. Jeez, you are a little too much for me.
I've been hanging around Black Griffin too much. He's got a sailor mouth. Actually, he's one of the most innocent children in the entire fandom, so I don't mean that.
He totally is.
All right, Josh, you are the head chair of BronyCon 2014 and 2013, and hopefully 2015.
Oh, well, I wasn't the chair of BronyCon for 2013. That honor actually goes to my predecessor, Nick Gopels, or Zephyr Sparkle. I was the deputy head of PR for
That's
2013.
right. My bad. I didn't mean to put
Oh,
words in your mouth.
okay.
That's right, it is your bad.
I feel awful. I feel like that one guy who called Samuel Jackson the other black guy in that one interview, and then Samuel Jackson. Did you all ever see that? Where like
No.
this interviewer is like, "Yeah, you were great in this Allstate commercial," and he's like, Samuel Jackson's like, "No, that wasn't me."
Morgan Freeman?
Yeah, he started chewing them out. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. But yeah, Josh, we just went to your con last weekend, and between that was a great convention.
Well, thank you. I also thought it was a pretty great convention.
You all did an outstanding job. I want to ask you though, like from your perspective, how did the con go? Like, what do you do? How do you do it? And what do you expect to see in the future?
Well, let's take those one at a time. How did it go?
Yes.
Well, keep in mind we're a pretty big convention. I saw probably 15% of it. And then everything else I heard about, and even then that probably only covers like half. It's one of those things where it's like when you get to the size that we are, you're not going to see everything. You just need to come next year to see everything else. It's like Disney World or Disneyland in that way, I guess. But for what I saw and what I heard, from an operational standpoint, it was easily the smoothest I've seen a Brony convention run. And I've been watching Brony conventions now for 2 years. Now, I mean, I'll admit I have some bias to that. I'm sure other Brony conventions would rabble rouse and be like, ours were run much better than that back in my day. But from my biased opinion, I've not seen a convention at that scale, at that staffing, run as smooth as it did.
I'd have to agree. Actually, the con went without a hitch. You and your staff seem to be in complete control. How big is your staff?
Honestly, we had some staff not show up due to reasons and whatnot, which I'm sure were all understandable. Those jerks. But at the con, we had about, I want to say 300. But we had more who were just not able to make it due to just personal reasons, like life, work, what have you. So yeah, for that puts us at quick. Let me do some math. Do. That was like, oh geez, that's a scary number. 3% of our attendees were staff.
Wow.
It's pretty intense.
I mean, we do have things like things we have to do. Like there's a convention center security. We do hire out private security as well to cover our bases somewhere. Which we're big fans of the group we go with. They're really fun. They get into our event. They wear pony ears.
Really?
Yeah, they do. In fact, the head guy, our head representative for the security place, last year my head of security gave him a pair of pony ears and said, "You need to wear these every year now." And jokingly, and the guy was like, "Seriously?" And jokingly, we were like, "Well, you want the contract for next year, right?" He was there this year with those ears. But no, the private security group we hire is really good people, and seem to really kind of get our convention, which is fantastic.
Speaking of the convention location, what brought you all to Baltimore?
So with that, there's a little history there. As you remember, I'm pretty sure you were there. We used to be, before Baltimore, we were in Secaucus, New Jersey, at the great advertised BronyCon of June 2012, as seen in documentary after documentary after documentary. We had about 4,000 people there, and that was because we were at capacity. I was just attending that one. I wasn't even working the convention, but it was definitely pretty close quarters. When 2013 came around, we realized that if we wanted to continue expanding, which we did, because any sane convention wants to continue growing, we needed to look elsewhere to figure out where we were going to go. And we looked at a lot of places. We looked at places, I think we looked at Pittsburgh, we looked at Boston. I think we got, although I don't believe we would have gone there, we got one from Miami, and a couple more. But long story short, we got one from Baltimore. And of all of the bids that we got, Baltimore was the most responsive, and they were the most welcoming of us as staff to their city. The Baltimore Convention Center, I mean, it houses Otakon, at least for the next 2 years, but it has housed Otakon for many years. And the Baltimore Convention Center, for them, houses like 25 to 35,000 people.
Wow.
If it can hold Otakon, it can hold BronyCon. And that's ultimately why we decided to go there.
Did you all just think that like this would be a good location also? I mean, I think you already said it, to see the growth happen over years, where next year BronyCon could be 15,000 perhaps, and then so on and so forth, the same way that Otakon could have grown.
The area itself does prove really well for extra growth. It's in a good area where it's easy to travel to, it's easy to fly to, drive through, major train hubs go through there. And the city in and of itself is actually kind of a fun destination. I know a lot of people like to go, ho, The Wire. I remember seeing, I know Omar's a coming. But the city itself is actually really beautiful and really fun to play in, especially the Inner Harbor area, which I took this year. I got in the Saturday before the convention, so I could have a couple of days to just basically have a real vacation before I would work like 20-hour shifts. Yes. That you work at a convention when you're the chair, and it was a lot of fun. Like, we went to the aquarium. When I say we, my vice chair and I, John Fulner, as I believe all three of you know, we went to the aquarium. We checked out some of the ships. We went to a bunch of the neighborhoods. We popped off a couple of shots in the t-shirt launcher. All in all, it's just a really fun weekend, and it's a very gorgeous place, and it's really nice watching, kind of like watch it be like a tourist, becoming a bigger tourist hotspot.
Well, I know our friend Paler here is a big fan of the aquarium near the Inner Harbor.
Those dolphins though, they're adorable.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to do than just the convention in Baltimore if you look in the right spots, and the Inner Harbor is very nice.
And we actually, starting last year, we try to do things to basically kind of highlight that. It's something that we found that no other conventions really do. We kind of just coined it with the really simple phrase Thursday activities, where we team up with various locations around the city of Baltimore to provide either Brony themed things or just stuff for people who are attending BronyCon to do. Obviously, the most successful of which has been the Brony Bar Trot, which this year pulled in, I believe, like 600 people.
What?
Yeah. They had like 400 people pre-register, and then they had a whole bunch more actually pay at the door.
Wait, so they take that? Wait, it can't be that many at once. Like, how do they go about moving from place to place?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know. Unfortunately, my position does not allow me to actually go to this. But I think they just have a bunch of bar hubs where they have people at all times, and then people kind of just switch around as they go.
When it comes to BronyCon, like you said before, it has probably the most it has the most panels and events going on than any other con. How many events were going on throughout the entire weekend?
At the same time?
I mean, if you take the entire schedule and count up all the different things going on, how many would you say there were?
Well, hang on. Let's see if I can actually give you an answer for that.
I still have my schedule in here. Let me see.
Let's see here. Just pull out the schedule. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A whole bunch.
Honestly, my mom and I were looking at because I got back, I met with my mom, and we talked about the convention, and she's looking through the little event guide, and she's like, what is this, like Brony underwater basket weaving? They got everything there. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, they really do have everything you can imagine there.
We had I believe it was easily over 100 hours worth of panels and specific events throughout the entire weekend, easily. I don't actually have the official numbers, but I definitely know it's well over 100.
Wow,
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really kind of cool in that way because, you can't see everything. You have to pick and choose what you want to see, and then the next year you come and then you see a couple of different things.
Well, I completely agree. As a con goer who goes to a bunch of these different conventions, I kind of get bored after a while with, no offense to these panels. They're awesome, but they get kind of old if you see them more than once, like the voice actor panels and the writers panels, which actually,
and the Bronies React panel.
Oh, that one gets so boring. I just don't want to be on. I have to drink before I go on that panel just to get through it. but a lot of these panels, the big ones, you see at every other con. But this convention, BronyCon, has a lot of variety and people coming in offering new things, and that keeps things fresh. I really enjoy that.
And it's actually funny that you bring up the voice actor panels. It's something that my guest relations department, my events department, myself, really kind of, we know it. Everybody, you go to one VA panel, you see them all.
That's so true.
And it basically is everybody kind of talks, and then there's a little Q&A. And I don't know if you had the privilege of being able to go to some of them this year, but we did. But we made it our mission to make sure that was not the case this year. There might have been the one or two, but we wanted to make sure that there was a plethora of interesting panels involving our guests of honor. I think there was a couple that were real big hits.
Like what?
One of them was the Apples to Apples game with with Peter and Andrea. I missed that, but I'm told it was a blast. Another one, these next two were actually kids only. which is another interesting thing, is that we really strive to do a lot of children's programming because I mean they're the core demographic of the show, and each and every year more and more families and children come to our events. So we want to be able to cater to them and make sure we have really awesome stuff for them.
I want to add quickly, that's something that Race Best and I noticed is there seems to be a lot more parents and their kids here this time around than last year.
Yes, every year our family demographic seems to basically skyrocket, which I think is great because I love all of our attendees, but there's something about a child's eyes lighting up to basically everything pony that is just really satisfying.
I agree.
But these two panels, I believe there was a 20 questions game with Peter New.
Oh, that's smart.
And then my absolute favorite one was Letters to Princess Luna. And the premise to Letters to Princess Luna was, everyone always sends, Princess Celestia letters, but no one sends Princess Luna letters, and it makes her sad. So everyone got to write letters to Princess Luna, and they gave them to Tabitha and Kazumi, and then they read them out loud.
Aww, that's awesome.
It was apparently the talk of the children's programming, from what I am told.
That's awesome. That's really a good way to keep things interesting. So
Definitely.
Keep up that dynamic, like that's what makes BronyCon different from the other conventions, is that kind of change. So
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
approach.
Yeah, you have to stay fresh. I mean, I love BronyCon very much, and I love the Brony convention scene very much, but it does stand to reason that at some point, unless everyone kind of shakes things up every now and then, content's going to go stale. And you have to have creative people and creative minds thinking of ways to make things fresh and interesting and fun in ways that no one else has ever done it before. And I think my event staff does a fantastic job of doing that.
I completely agree. You all do a fantastic job, and I'm glad the biggest convention gets that and moves forward,
Definitely.
progressing with it.
It's a challenge. It really is. I mean, we're in a circuit where we're a single interest convention, a single interest fandom, and we do see attendees and panelists kind of becoming more and more unique and dynamic, and kind of every now and then kind of going a little bit past it, but that takes time. That takes years usually, in order to slowly transition to it. You can't just you can't go from one thing and then the next year just basically snap into another without alienating, your attendees. So it's just one of those things where, like with everything, it continues to grow and evolve. And I think over the years, if you look back at, say, even go back to say the first real big BronyCon, June 2012 to now, BronyCon's done a good job of evolving in pretty much every orifice of its being.
I agree. I completely agree. Speaking of growing, what do you think will happen in the future for BronyCon?
In terms of attendance, or
I suppose events, panels, attendance. I guess kind of all of it. Things that get you excited to see what comes in the future.
I'll be honest with you. I'm a little bit weird when it comes to attendance. Some people get really excited by the fact that BronyCon went from 1,000 people, or went from 100 people to 1,000 people to 4,000 people to 8,000 people, and where will it go next? I'm actually really excited by the fact that our growth was lower this year, and I'll tell you why. Because conventions cannot sustain themselves at that kind of a growth. Your staff burns out really terribly because you ultimately become super understaffed. You overcrowd and basically just kind of make a worse convention for everybody. Whereas if you have a healthy growth, say some a healthy growth for conventions is about 15 to 25% a year. That's considered healthy, which, funny enough, is about what we had, about 15%. Just a little under, but still at about the 15% mark. What that means for us next year is that we can actually we can look at our numbers and figure out, all right, was the number of panels we had enough? Was our concert big enough? Do we need to modify how many people we have in our vendor hall? Basically, what we can do now that we've gone from a hyper rapid growth to a stable growth is we can now more properly fine tune, kind of twist and turn the knobs a little bit in order to find the actual sweet spots for what will be good for not only our staff but also our attendees in terms of quantity. I mean, the quality will always be tip-top notch. We will always strive, no matter where we are, to provide the highest quality convention that we can. But in terms of figuring out what exactly is the right quantity is something that we can now start kind of figuring out how we need to fine-tune.
Well said, and that's smart too, because you don't want to just go gung-ho and be concerned with just numbers and getting as many as you can. Right. You guys are looking to fine-tune everything for the existing attendees and keeping them happy, and how to facilitate that growth when it does come. So, good approach.
Thank you. I'm a big fan of it, obviously.
What about... go ahead, Tom.
Oh, I just wanted to say something that I was because the con was run really, really well this year, fantastic, and I kind of already mentioned that. But one thing I wanted to point out in particular that I experienced firsthand that was just so much easier than last year, and I just was relieved, was getting my badge compared to last year.
Yeah.
'Cause last year we all hung out in line for a good solid 2 hours, and it was fun because we were all got to see each other again. It had been a year, but this time I just walked in and walked out. There was no line. It took no time at all, and it wasn't even a thing. And that was just such a huge shift. So I don't know what you guys did behind the scenes, but I just wanted to let somebody know thank you for doing that, because it was totally painless compared to last year.
So it's funny. I had basically a single saying throughout the entirety of the convention. I said it during opening ceremonies even. But seriously, though, that registration line, though, right? What registration line? So we, this year and last year, like you said, night and day difference. Last year, we made there were a lot of missteps with how our registration process went. In terms of basically doing things like labeling. We didn't have an automated labeling system last year. We were actually doing things by hand because we didn't have enough time to figure out how to program it and do the automation part of it. And after what was so nicely dubbed as LineCon 2013 happened, I really made it my mission to make sure that our registration was tip-top notch this year. So much so that I completely gutted the department. In 2013, we had an attendee relations department that handled things like our info booths, as well as registration, and a few other things. I took everything that wasn't registration and I gave it to other departments for 2014. And I said, you are now registration. Your goal is to make sure that there is no line. And that is exactly what we did. And the little secret of how we do it is we're actually using the exact same setup that the Disney Expo convention does for their registration system.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
It's located in Florida. I think it's called D23. I actually don't remember the name of it. Krypton Logic would kill me because he's such a Disney nut. But quick, somebody look it up. Expo convention. What is it called? It is called D23. And that brings in I believe 20 to 30,000 people. But the system we're using is really awesome. It's quick. You scan, and then a printer basically just shits out the label. We slap it on the badge, give it to you along with the program book, the lanyard, and everything. Say, have a great convention. And the longest the line I think ever was Thursday, when we actually, and maybe Friday, when we were basically lining up people before opening up registration, and that was like I said, like 30 minutes.
It went so smooth. And then what Tom said, that was a very painless process. I mean, it wasn't there. There was no registration line. You just go in there, get your stuff, and you move on.
It's going to. I mean, it's a resounding success, and we're looking to possibly tweak our registration system even more to try to remove even more of those kinds of issues down the line to even make it faster. So we'll see what 2015 brings.
Well, I'm going to open it up here to questions here in one moment for the Tumblr Q&A stuff, but I have one last question for you. What was your personal favorite moment of BronyCon?
That's tough. It's hard for me to pick one. Can I pick several?
Sure.
Opening and closing ceremonies for me were probably the most fun. Mostly because I'll let you know, you guys ended up missing it here, I know, but I was a nervous wreck for opening ceremonies. Like, I was just like that it wasn't going to go well, that things were going to get screwed up. And then like myself and Fulner got up on stage and then we just owned it, like legitimately owned it. And my favorite part of opening ceremonies was literally the entire room. The minute I came out on stage with a t-shirt gun, because we had a t-shirt gun. You bet your sweet ass we bought that t-shirt gun, having that t-shirt gun. Everybody rising up in a roar with their hands raised, wanting a t-shirt. It was the coolest thing ever. Closing ceremonies was very much similar to that, but closing ceremonies probably went out because I got super sentimental and choky during it because it was the end of the con. Other things would be Brony Palooza on Saturday night. We had some screw-ups on Brony Palooza Friday night, and I think the attendees at the end of the day still really, really enjoyed the concert. Like, we had the lights accidentally come on in the concert hall for about 2 minutes by accident on Friday. But Saturday was like the concert of dreams. I've told this to all the musicians, and I've told this to, I believe, you, Saber. But the first convention I ever went to was BronyCon June 2012. First convention ever. Never went to one. I went with my ex. We had a great time. But Brony Palooza that Saturday night was just such an amazing concert that I put it up on a pedestal in terms of like Brony convention concerts. And in the 2 years that happened since then, I've been to a lot of Brony conventions and I've seen a lot of Brony convention concerts. I even went to Brony Palooza last year, and even with the Friday where the floor was literally oscillating and we were causing noise complaints from blocks away, Brony Palooza 2012 was still on that pedestal. It wasn't until Saturday's Brony Palooza concert that the concert itself literally was kicked off the pedestal and replaced by Saturday's Brony Palooza 2014 concert. It was perfection in almost every sense of the word. Everything was amazing. Music was all fantastic. There were no flub-ups. And the surprise announcement of Alex S. as the very last set for the night caused the entire audience to just explode. So much so that the bike racks that we had set up in front of the concert hall moved forward 6 inches. Literally.
Really?
6 inches. Yes. Because people were so excited about the concert. It was just so many feels, guys. You don't even know. the amount of feels like myself, Rachel, my deputy head of events, Pinky Boo, our musician liaison and person who was running the concert, like all of the musicians just had, after the concert, just had a moment where we just all hugged each other, and it was fantastic. The only thing that could possibly come close to that was DJ Tetsuo after his set Friday, when he got off stage, and he basically just hugged me and cried in my shoulder about tears of joy and happiness about how awesome it was for him to come to BronyCon and play, because Bronypalooza was basically like his Lollapalooza. Like, he made it and like got to play the biggest stage in Brony convention history, and he was just so overcome with amazing emotion that it even made me cry a little bit.
That's awesome.
So I guess those things were probably my favorite, but it's tough to really pick a favorite because the entire weekend in and of itself, the sum is better than the parts. Everybody walked away from that event happy. Many people came up to myself and my staff of all ages, of all sizes, and just told us how much BronyCon meant to them that weekend. And I don't even really know. The whole thing really makes me speechless once I start talking about it this way.
It was amazing. Bronypalooza. I got on stage for one moment. It was during Black Griffin's set on Friday. Race Best and I ran up there jokingly, and Black Griffin and his brother Basic pulled a trick on us where they're like, "Hey, what are y'all doing on stage? You're going to sing a song, right?" And they gave us the microphones. And I do decent in front of crowds now, just from doing more panels and events at these conventions. I actually was petrified when I looked out into that audience. I'm like, my God, there's so many of them. I can't even see their faces because it's so dark and the lights are shining everywhere, like randomly. And I was actually frozen. Let it go, let it go. No, but sorry, I had to. I should have sung that on stage. But that crowd was electrified, and it was amazing. Even though I spilled my spaghetti with my song up there, it was euphoric spaghetti.
Bronypalooza was certainly the most electrifying concert in Brony convention history.
Yes.
If I can just shamelessly paraphrase Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
You can and you may.
Well, I just did. You couldn't. Hey.
It was.
This is the live show. You can't mute me now.
Drive from the call. No, that was that's awesome, dude. All right. Well, I say we open it up to the Q&A.
Yeah. Before we do, we have a story.
Go ahead.
About pizza.
Oh, we do have a story about pizza.
Yeah. Is Saber? You should add Hirasashi.
Yes. Okay. So before we get to the Q&A, let's add a few more people in here and get their spin on the convention. Josh, you cool with chilling out with us until then?
Oh man, I got nothing but love and time for you guys.
Excellent. We'll get to the Q&A here in a bit. Until then, we'll chat some other friends here and talk about the con. And Josh, you're more than welcome to jump in and put your spin on things too.
You bet.
All right, so we're waiting for Hirasashi. We'd have Race Best join us, but he's going to be going to get some dinner with his girlfriend and his girlfriend's family. God, the nerve of him to have a real life.
I know, what the heck?
I'm never going to forgive him.
Never.
Getting his own apartment and everything, man.
Ugh. Some people.
We should kick him off Bernie's React. Who are some other folks we could probably add into the call later on?
Matt?
Yes.
Matt, definitely.
Matt.
We need to talk about Matt's emotional breakdown.
Yeah, he performed during Bronypalooza. Let's add him in here. And then that'll probably be the height of it. I might add Loyal Brony here around the end because he's been our moderator for our chat for a long time for the show, and I want him to hop on in before the show closes out.
Definitely.
But I'm going to wait because if we add him in now, the chat will blow up. As in,
True.
blinks and bad font will be everywhere. Matt, you there?
Hello.
Matt,
Hey,
how
man.
are you?
I am good. I don't know why I'm able to hear myself. That's pretty odd. Hold on a minute. I was working on a song. I'm going to save it and close out because this is a special moment.
Matt here is a DB Pony. For those who don't know, we call him Matt because that's his name. He was.
Can I share a story, or can I have a word for a second?
Go right
Yes,
ahead.
you can.
No,
Only-
this is for mostly you, my friends. But I feel like I need to share this because this is rather a special occasion. I really just wanted to thank you guys. Because I know this is going to get really, really, really sappy, but I mean, I consider this show a bit of a special token in my life because, you know, I've always watched it, and you guys have, you know, I've slowly developed a closer relationship with all of you, and I feel like if it weren't for this show, if it weren't for you, Saber, and if it weren't for Paleo introducing me to all of you, I feel like we wouldn't have the friendships that we have now and the future that we're building together. And I feel like this is sort of that bridge that completed that gap. So the fact that, you know, you're putting this show, you know, to rest in terms is like a bit symbolic because, like I said, it's what brought us all together, and I really appreciate that, and I'll always remember it. So
Thank you for the kind words, dude, and it's gonna make me all teary-eyed.
No, like, actually, now that he brings that up, it's totally true because, you know, Paleo introduced me to all of you guys through Brony Breakdown because he found me on Tumblr, and then we started talking, and then he introduced me to everybody else, and that's kind of how I met all you guys. And I had gone through this thing before a bunch of times when I'd meet people online, we'd talk for a little while, and then we just fall out of touch. And it was upsetting, but I never really got to know anybody online to the extent that I've gotten to know you guys, where we've met up in person at a bunch of places, and we've hung out, like, for reasons beyond what initially brought us together, in this case, My Little Pony. And in the back of my mind, I was always really worried that, like, you know, like, these guys are becoming, like, my closest, like, greatest friends that I've ever had. And I was like, if this pony thing ever just, like, sputters out, are they just we're just gonna, like, go our separate ways like it has been before? Like, that would really suck, because, like, these guys are, like, really important to me now in a way that I've never had any of their friends like that now. And here we are, like, Brony Breakdown is kind of, like, done. We're moving on to bigger things, but we're moving on to bigger things together. And that just makes me feel, like, really just excited and happy, because I was worried for a long time that you guys, like, we'd fall out of touch. Like, it just kind of happens. But, like, I feel like our bond has grown stronger than what brought us together almost. And that, like, we're, like, legitimate friends, not just, like, fandom friends, but, like, we're all, like, really close. And that just makes me really happy. So I'm happy I could meet you guys through Brony Breakdown, and I'm glad that we're going to, like, stay together beyond it, that our friendship is kind of extended beyond that. And it sounds really sappy, but it's totally true. So you guys, like, I don't know what I'd be doing without you. So thank you, both of you, for making the show and bringing us all together, and bro hug over the internet, all that stuff.
Well, it's funny how it all starts out, because it branches out over time, where it started off with myself and Paleo bumping to each other, and then we start to acquire people over time. And it's not like you set out to find these people, you just kind of bump into them, and you let these relationships naturally form, and that's what makes them so genuine and resilient. I remember meeting Jack Split. I remember meeting Race Best. I remember meeting Beavids, Josh, you know, you and Matt and all you guys, just everybody over time. And it never felt fake or forced. It was just something that happened naturally. And not to be corny, but the show is called Friendship is Magic. And I'm going to cringe, but it's so it's so true, though, how I know we've all done so many fun and amazing things with our creations and our work, but ultimately, I think we all can agree that the most important thing that ever came out of this experience was walking away with some pretty damn awesome friends.
No, absolutely. Because I remember when I first got into the show, like, the thing that I always thought was, like, all right, if the show's really going to be good, it has to rise above its subtitle. Because, like, Friendship is Magic, that sounds so lame. And who would know that, like, on the other side of it, like, no, I was the one who was wrong. It's totally true. So, yeah. I don't know, take that for what it's worth, I guess.
Well, Matt, we were just talking to Josh about BronyCon and Brony Palooza. Mom, special guest, my mom is here. Mom, how are you?
Oh man.
Saber Mom!
How was your
I heard Josh talking. I was like, "Whoa, is that his mom?"
Plot twist.
Do you need some more juice and some celery sticks with peanut butter?
No, Mom, but thank you. Could you get the lights and oh, I need you to tuck me in later and read me a story, okay?
Okay, sweetie, I'll talk to you later.
Oh, thanks, Saber Mom. That was beautiful.
Oh god.
Well, my mom's gone now. But Matt, we were just talking about Brain Palooza.
Mhm.
You performed, and I want to hear your spin on it. How was it?
It was way better than last year. if I can say that. Because I felt like last year, because last year for the musicians, at least, you know, for Brony Palooza, it was all application based. So basically, a bunch of musicians threw in applications, and then like everybody was like, let's accept every single one. And so there was like 32 musicians or something. It was a lot of musicians. So the live sound checkout was like really, really tight. We were strapped for time. We went over time that we weren't supposed to go over, and the concert took place on, you know, the 4th floor. And there were complaints about, you know, about the beams buckling and people couldn't jump. It was a mess, but I had fun regardless. But this year was really, really, really different because it just went so well, and I was so busy on that Saturday, you know, running back and forth between panels and getting onto the stage and being up there for 1 hour because I was performing with Dylan, and then I performed my set, and the sound was just fantastic. The crowd was really responsive, and it was just really smooth. I really, really enjoyed the experience this year, and I mean, I hope I get invited to come back next year. I mean, because it was a lot of fun, and I think the audience really, really enjoyed it.
Put me on the spot like that.
Yeah, Josh, I really hope he shows up next year.
I think you really put it right. 2013 was kind of a hot mess.
Well, that's funny. That's the name of my new fanfic. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So 2013 was totally a hot mess. We had too many musicians, which caused too many problems. And I don't think anyone, at least on my side, really kind of had a good grasp of what the hell was going on. This year, I totally agree with you. I mean, we cut back on the number of musicians because, lo and behold, wouldn't you know, putting more and more musicians in it does not a great concert make. Paring it down did. It's kind of like what I was talking about earlier tonight, where I was saying you kind of have to. We're at the point where we kind of got to change the knobs and turn them around a little bit to figure out what's good. I think we've almost found the sweet spot in terms of like number of musicians for Brony Palooza. We're close. I don't think we're there yet. I think we could probably totally add maybe 2 more, and we'd get even better dynamic than we had this year. But you're right. Last year, I'm one of the first to admit it. It was a hot mess. It was kind of cool on Friday because it was one of those things where you kind of had to be there to feel the floor literally oscillate underneath your feet, and watch like the glass literally like reverberate because of all of the noise. But outside of that, it was just kind of it was okay.
Yeah, and it's funny because I performed on Friday in 2013, and I didn't really get to, you know, I wasn't really caught up in the whole aftermath of the whole ordeal because basically Michelle Krieber and, you know, the Krieber family went up and they did their set. And right after the Kriebers, it was like, well, now it's time for DB Pony. So I got up on stage and I did 3 songs. It was an insanely short set because we had so little time. And I basically like rushed all the way through it. And I was just like, okay, guys, bye. And then I left. And people were like, wow, you performed a really short set. And I was like, well, I didn't want to go over time. But then it wound up happening anyway. But I didn't really, you know, I wasn't really around. My performance wasn't around for the whole, like, you know, dilemma, you know, the beams buckling and the no jumping and the time, you know, lapsing. It was pretty crazy, but I mean, regardless, I still had fun. So, I mean, not all was bad.
mean, the real cool thing for you guys this year is, I mean, last year you were performing like maybe 20-minute sets. This year you guys got to literally like put it all on stage for like almost an hour to some of your biggest fans, which was really awesome.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And one thing that I think is really important, because I was having, I'll admit, I had severe doubts about the live sound team, because I remember last year, because it was the same guys, they were spaghetti all over the place too, and I didn't like it at all. In fact, I really hated it, and I was thinking to myself, gee, I sure hope they don't hire the same guys this year, but they did anyway, and I was kind of annoyed about that. But then after the experience this year, and after really sitting down and thinking about it and taking it all into consideration, there were like 35 musicians last year, and that's a lot of musicians to have to live, to sound check and to make sure you've got everything perfect for their performance. And I mean, I guess you got to look at it from their side of the spectrum too, because that's a lot of work. That's it's a lot of stress that you got to deal with, and they're around a crowd they don't know. And so this year they kind of already knew what they were getting into, and there was less musicians to have to deal with. So when I was working with them on stage, they just seemed a lot more tolerable, and they seemed a lot more professional, and it was really, really cool. Everything sounded fantastic. There were no hiccups, and it was just an overall way better experience. So yeah, definitely good job with that.
There were a lot of worries about us, because we went with the same AV provider that we went with last year, and there's a couple of videos floating around where one of their people fell asleep at the soundboard during a concert in 2013. A lot of people get a chuckle of that. I roll my eyes and say this should not happen. We went with the same people we went with last year, partially because we got a really good deal, but also because we went into it knowing that the more and more you work with a group, the better and better your dynamic becomes. And we realized what were things we explicitly needed to control, and what were things we could let them handle, and things like soundboards and stuff, like everything Brony Palooza by and large we were taking full control over, because we needed to make sure it was perfect. I'm not stupid. I know a lot of musicians left 2013 really upset with how everything went, and it was just one of those things where it was like we had to point to the stands for 2014, and then we had to hit that home run right there where we pointed, and we fucking did, and that makes me so happy.
Oh yeah.
I don't think a single one of you guys left Brony Palooza without a huge shit-eating grin on your face.
Dude, I was completely overwhelmed. Just the experience and the response, and how well everything went afterwards. I was so I don't even know. It was a lot for me to handle, and with how well everything went, it gave me time to really focus on everyone in the audience, and just to see the responses from everybody, to hear everybody just it was all love, and it was so pure, and it was so great that I was just like, wow, this is something that I hope to come back to every year, because
that crowd was crazy. I've never seen such a more engaged crowd to a concert. Even to things I've been to a lot of live concerts, and things that were comparable. I went and saw VNV Nation, and I also saw Depeche Mode recently, and those were close. I went to Depeche Mode when it was at the Minnesota State Fair last year.
It would be in Minnesota, right?
I'm in Wisconsin, but it was a quick drive, and my ex really wanted to go, but that's neither here nor there. But that crowd was close, and it was larger. This concert, though, the amount of in tune everybody was with everything was phenomenal. Again, I said it kind of before, and it sounds really cheesy, but it seriously felt like perfection. Obviously, it wasn't. There's always hiccups. You go to a convention, there are hiccups, and there are things, and those are the things that you work on for next year. But for all intents and purposes outside that, it was about as close to perfection that I think anybody could have ever dreamed or imagined.
Mm-hmm.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well, here's Sasha. You there?
Yeah, what's up?
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. Glad y'all can join us. Wanted to talk to you because you, for Friday and Saturday, were wandering around the convention. I think you got more of a chance to visit different panels and halls and things like that. Tell us about your time at BronyCon.
My time at BronyCon was pretty good. I enjoy seeing friends, of course. That's the main. That's as much as I love the con and much as I love ponies. The main draw of it is, of course, seeing my friends that I don't get to see ever. So, but yeah, around the con, freaking, I don't know. It's had a lot of good times going to a bunch of different panels. Like I went to support my team with Legends of Equestria during. Your panel is actually at the same time as that. Your Riffing is Magic panel,
Yeah,
so
Riffing is Magic one.
okay.
Yeah.
that's on YouTube, so I can go watch that at some point. But yeah, I had to miss that one to go support my teammates, and that was fun. A lot of really specific questions from people who I'm sure are like veterans at MMOs, but I was like, we'll get there. But yeah, a lot of good times on Saturday. Saturday, like I said to you guys before, but it flew by in just like I don't even think I had a Saturday. I think it was actually just a fib, to be completely honest.
I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah, like it didn't exist.
It didn't happen.
I guess it was that fun that it just didn't happen.
Everyone's saying that too.
Yeah, it's
Saturday
ridiculous.
didn't go by. I forgot to eat on Saturday until we ended up getting that pizza at like 10.
Yeah,
We gotta tell that story still, but I want to hear
Yeah.
Sasha's thing first.
you got to tell the pizza
We'll
story.
we'll talk about after we get your point of the story here. We'll all share that story, and I have another one I want to share. But go ahead here, Sashi.
But like I don't know, what did I the first half of Saturday, or for a good portion of the first half of Saturday, I hung out with Jax and Silverhound, and we went through the dealer room, just meeting up with a bunch of different people. I met up with I said this on Paleo's video, but we met up with Sibsy and Mando. That was the first time I got to talk to both of them, but incredibly nice individuals, like wow nice. And I got to freak out with Sibsy because I bought my first piece of pony merchandise ever, aside from a USB, which was for utility, not so much for aesthetics. I bought 2 Sailor Moon pony prints, and they're hanging up on my wall right now. They're super cool. I love them. But Sibsy she caught me holding them. She's like, "Oh my god, where can I get those?" So we got to like freak out about Sailor Moon together, and that was super fun. But on the second half, on the latter half of Saturday, it was just panel after panel after panel. And I really wanted to talk to Digibrony about anime, and I got to talk to him about anime for a little bit before what panel was it? Whose Line?
Whose
That
line?
was
Yeah.
Whose Line.
Yeah,
Because there was
before-
a huge line of
There was a huge line for Whose Line. There's a pun in there somewhere, but Matt will fish it out, I'm sure. But yeah, that was my Friday and Saturday, just good times. And Sunday was bad times because I was bummed out because I knew I'd have to say bye to people. So
Yeah.
Now, y'all should have left Monday.
I know.
man, I had work.
We have lives and jobs. And,
That does too, though.
I'm just playing.
Matt doesn't work on Mondays or Tuesdays though.
Matt has a great.
Matt has the
work
weekend
schedule.
like in the beginning of the week.
I wasn't sure if I was actually supposed to go to work those days though, because my job's all
yeah.
short-staffed and everything. But that's
true.
whatever. I digress.
I want to talk about the pizza.
Tom has to tell this story.
Tom, do it. Talk about the pizza.
All right, so let's talk about the pizza story because this has kind of become a legend for us.
Yes.
And anyone who goes to BronyCon, you need to go try Nino's Pizza. As long as it's still big in Baltimore, that is pretty much the best pizza any of us have ever had. It's fantastic, and it's actually a 2-year-long story. This story is. I'm gonna try and like give you the highlights of each year because like one leads into the other one. So it starts in 2013, and we're all staying at the Days Inn, and we're out doing whatever, and we all come back in together. We're all really hungry because it's late. And we're just like, man, need some food. Freaking dying over here. And we're walking past like the check-in counter, and there's a pizza sitting on there. We're like, oh, pizza sounds fantastic. We should go try and get some. So we go over there and we're like, can we get a menu for the pizza or whatnot? And the lady at the desk is just like, you know what, you can have this pizza.
That was so mind-blowing. It's like, who gives away free pizza to random?
Exactly.
Who does
like,
that?
It's not even like
besides
because we're horse
Saints?
famous. That she's just gonna give us a pizza. She doesn't know who we are. And she's like, yeah, I don't really like pizza. Someone gave this to me. I don't want it, so you can have it. And we're just like, well, first of all, who doesn't like pizza? Like, what's wrong with you? Second of all, fine. I'm not gonna question it. So we grab it and we go up to our room, and we're eating the pizza. We're like, this is the best pizza of all time. It is so freaking fantastic. It's like you open it up, and like, you know those like food porn blogs where it just shows like really like ridiculous shots of food. Every pizza from this place looks like one of those pizzas. Like,
Let me add that you have these pizzas where they kind of do okay in one category and fail in another. Like some that have lots of toppings, but they fall apart when you eat the pizza, or some that have great crust, but meh pizza, or vice versa. This pizza was perfection. It was,
and
it all came together.
every facet, fantastic. So we have it, and we're like, this is the best. We need more. So we go downstairs. We're like, all right, this pizza was great. We need more. Where did you get it from? So she gives us this flyer, and we're like, all right, we go and order. And they have a great deal, 4 extra large pizzas for $33. So we're like, that's what we're getting.
That's
like 5 or
an
6
amazing deal.
So good, because the pizzas are massive. And we're like, all right, that's what we're doing. So we get a bunch. We have some. We're watching, I think, Attack on Titan on Jack's computer. This is when Titan was still airing. And so we were having fun, eating pizza, watching, you know, guys getting destroyed. And we just kind of let the pizza be for like a couple episodes. So we're all full because we had the first pizza already. I think Jax had 2 pizzas by himself, though, because he's Jax. So like 45 minutes pass, and we get hungry again. So we're like, oh, let's grab some more. So we have more of the pizza. And somehow, and we still haven't figured out how this is possible,
Magic.
it gets better the longer you leave it.
And not even in the fridge, just leaving it out in the open.
Just letting it sit. We've dubbed it the fermenting pizza because it gets better as you age it.
There's no science that explains this phenomenon.
Yes.
It is,
and
it baffles science.
That everyone we've told to that hasn't experienced this thinks we're full of shit, and then they try it and then they're believers. So I'm confident that we're not just pulling this out of our ass. We have like 10 or 15 people now who all agree that this is a legitimate phenomenon.
I don't believe you. I've been trying to find this place the entire time you've been talking about. Because I'm going to be in Baltimore.
I don't think they have a website because we tried.
I don't have a website. If you want,
it's a legend.
I took a picture of the menu because of something that's going to come up next. All right, so we have this pizza. It's amazing. It blows our minds. And we're like, next year, we're getting it again. This is something we're doing. This is like a ritual for us now. So fast forward to last weekend. And it's Monday afternoon. Hero's having a bad day because for as much fun as we all had, Hero is like super obsessed with video games, and the game room was not up to snuff for this kid because he's super pro and he wanted to go there and play with his fight stick. And the entire time he couldn't play with his own fight stick, and a lot of the games weren't running optimally because, you know, you got to have your constant 60 frames and stuff in this fighting game.
Was he the guy who was complaining about that on Tumblr?
Very possible.
Well.
It might have been him because he did send some messages.
We totally saw that. There was this guy. I don't know who it was anymore because I'm sure as hell too lazy to go look it up. But there was this one guy who was like, we posted our Baltimore arcade thing, and I don't remember who it was, but this guy was like, it's fucking bullshit. I can't use my fucking controller. And we were just like.
That was you, wasn't here.
It was probably no, because if it was on the. Was it on the Facebook or was it on Tumblr?
It was totally on the Tumblr. It might have also been on Facebook, but it was
Tumblr.
Because I did send a message on Facebook and Tumblr. On Facebook, I looked to see if anyone else was a little like miffed about not bringing your own thing. So it was probably, by probably, I mean it was 1000% me.
You know,
so now you can talk to him about.
No offense, we totally get it, but at the same time, had such a laugh. It was just like, of all of the things.
You know what?
Of all the things.
Oh, man, he's in its limit.
It is done. Can't have any more.
Right.
We're done.
So he's raging about this like all day because he's just like, I just want to play my game and I can't do it. And I'm just like, I get it, man, I get it, but like, what am I gonna do? And he's like running around all day trying to like save this fighting game thing because he wants to play it for real. And he's just like all of these things like one after another. And like I guess the game pads for Fighting Against Magic wasn't working, so they were running it on a keyboard or something.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, 2 people on the keyboard.
So all in all, Hirasashi had somewhat of a sour time. He needed relief. He needed to cool off.
Right.
And what was the solution?
The pizza. We have
Yes,
to go
sir.
find this pizza because he was there last year and he loved it. So we all go back to our room to order, and we're like, okay. What was the place called? Shit! So none of us remember what the actually called because it's been there. We've hyping it up like the whole week leading up to the con. We can't wait to get that again. That's like up there with like, you know, going to the panels, like getting the pizza. And now we have no idea what it's called. So we're like, how many pizza places can there be, you know, around here? Like, give me
Oh
that.
my gosh, there's so many.
50 at least. We're digging through all of these places. Is Iggy's? Was that what it's called? That kind of sounds familiar. It's like, no. We ordered really late. They closed at 10. Damn it.
We're doing like detective level like crap here, trying to figure it out. Oh, forensic science.
I even called Saber, legit. I was like, Saber, does Iggy sound like the pizza we got? He's like, yeah, it sounds like...
I was wrong. It wasn't Iggy's. It was the legendary Nino.
It was Nino's. So 45 minutes, maybe an hour, we're digging through this. And Hero's just slowly losing steam. He goes like just ready for this, just like defeated. Like he's just undeflating as we're trying to figure this out. As hope slowly begins to erode away. And we're all just like, damn it, it's gone. This is just gonna something that lives on like in our dreams that we'll never experience again. And we're just like, you know what? We have one thing we can do. It's right down the street. Let's go to the Days Inn and see if we can find this legendary pizza, because that's where we first discovered it.
We call her the Prophet now.
Complete shot in the dark.
The
It was
pizza
like
pizza
try.
Prophet.
We go back there, and Hero walks in, and he's just like done. He's not even gonna like try and bullshit anyone anymore, because we tell him to go get it because we want him to triumph. If anyone's gonna get that moment, it has to be Hero because he's earned it at this point. So like, Hero, you go up, and if we win, it's your win, okay? So he goes up there, and we figure he's just going to ask, like, can I have a pizza menu? But no. He needs everyone to know his tale of woe today. And he's like, all right, I've had a really long day. Some stuff not been going my way, and this is going to sound really weird, but last year, me and my friends all roomed here, and we got this pizza. We got it for free. Some lady gave it to us, and it was amazing. And we're trying to find it again. We want to just get this flyer that had the pizza on it. Like, we don't know what place it was and where it came from. So do you have like a flyer with pizza on it that maybe could be like one of the ones that we were looking for? And the lady doesn't miss a beat and is like, yeah, that was me. I'm the one who gave you the pizza last year. Here's what you're looking for. And delivers us unto salvation. Like, doesn't even miss a beat. Remembers all of us. Remembers giving us this pizza. How many people in a year has she seen?
How does that even happen? How does that even happen?
It's fiction.
It was a BronyCon miracle. All right, Celestia herself had mercy on poor Hirasashi and delivered unto him his prize. And so we're all just stunned silent. And Hiro just takes it, turns around, and walks out. And I'm right behind him. And just as the doors open, because they're automatic doors, and he turns around and smiles for the first time in like 8 hours. The biggest grin I've seen from the man all day. And it's just like the ending of a friggin' like sitcom. It was I just imagine like executive producer just popping up freeze frame because it was just,
Wait, do the credits roll after he smiles and he kind of fades like a sepia tone afterwards?
So, like the little thing comes in. It was amazing. Like if Matt had his guitar and he just played a little thing right there, it would have been. It was the best moment. It was fantastic. So, and we immediately take a photo of this menu, so we'll never forget it again. So a year later, like, we'll be there and we'll be ready. So Nino's Pizza, if you guys are going to BronyCon 2015, make sure you give them your business because they're the greatest. And
It's
you know,
so
like
good.
it's fantastic.
And it's such a deal too. Like
Yes.
$33 for 4 extra large pizzas.
You have to have half right when it comes, and you have to wait. I know it's hard because it's so friggin' perfect, but you have, trust me, wait half an hour and then go in for round 2, and you will understand why it is legendary status.
So you are going to give me this image of this menu because at the end of September, I go back to Baltimore for our convention's post-mortem, and I need this pizza.
I will send you
I need this pizza.
The more people who know about it, the better. So in case something does happen, we can always ask somebody. So now if I lose the photo, I'll be like, Josh Dean's got us covered.
I want you to put it on the internet and archive it. I'll use it as my YouTube banner so we just never forget. Okay.
Hey, Tom.
I actually have the menu right here.
Yes.
Tom.
Yeah.
You know what song would play for the rolling credits for that?
What?
Oh my god.
But no, it has to be right before where Hirasashi turns around, smiles, and puts a pizza slice in his mouth. Right before he bites it, it freezes, and then the song plays.
It was silly too because once we got the pizza for the second time, like just this year, we put it in our mouths and we all just like shut up for a second. We're like, oh, it's just as good as last year. Oh my
Because
god.
at that point, we're like, maybe we're just like, it's been a year and we've romanticized it. No. We had 8 of these pizzas and every one of them was perfect.
Well, at the moment where you have some really loud mouths in the room, where between myself, Race Best, Gabe, and everybody, there's a lot of chatter and there's never a moment of silence. We took a bite of the pizza and we all kind of just let it set in, like, oh my god, we're here,
Yeah.
BurnyCon, enjoying pizza with friends.
Yeah,
Oh,
on
the
Saturday
menu-
night when we went to Beavis and Jay Holler's room with a bunch of the PMVers and everything, like everybody was like talking and everything, but once we got the pizza, everybody shut up.
Yeah, we all just like had our moment. We're just like, all right, here we go. All right, so I put the link both in the chat and in the Skype chat for the image. If you guys want to hold on to that menu, there it
I'm gonna
is.
click on it so I can
By the way, you want to hold on to that menu.
Really do.
Like pro tip, you do it.
This is going on my imager. No.
Neo's
And
Pizza, guys.
I will never lose it.
Who? That doesn't happen. You don't walk up and it's the same lady from last year, much less she remembers you. That doesn't.
That's fate.
Happen.
That is fate right there.
I've never even seen these flyers.
Because it doesn't. Like this place doesn't actually exist. You have to find it.
So beautiful, man. And that's part of, like Tom said, it's part of our tradition now.
Yeah.
The story has brought a tear to my eyes. Like you don't even know.
If you ever move from Baltimore, we're gonna be very upset.
Okay, so if we move from Baltimore, we need to also move this place, or at least
Get them to cater
Get in
it.
touch with these guys and get us a BronyCon deal because we just plugged the f out of them.
Yes.
You need to like partner up with them and like get like the big horse deal or something.
I mean,
horse
guys, they're already offering a pretty amazing deal with the party.
I
pack.
know,
Extra large.
but like I
cheese
feel
for
like it would be even
$34.
more magical. The world needs to know.
And you know what the worst part is, guys, is here's a story from my time at BronyCon. There's a couple of things that stand out. One of them was me talking to GM Bear on Twitter, and for some reason, I agreed to bring her a pizza at her panel. I went with Black Griffin, his brother, and Jax Blade to a pizza place where we had this moment where we ended up singing the Be Prepared song to the
And I
lady.
wasn't invited.
Oh my gosh, it was beautiful because Gabe and his brother are just getting right into it, and oh, Race Best was there too, and we all had a little meal. I had my pizza to the side to give the GM when we returned to the con, and Gabe just gets into it, and the lady at the counter is just staring at us with this look of like, wow, these people dumb, and when she did, Gabe goes, and even you can't be caught unaware, and he points his head right at her. With that, that charisma and confidence that Gabe has, he just went right for it and pointed right at her, and we all just busted out laughing. But aside the point, I brought that pizza to GM's panel, and on the walk back to the con, I actually felt this sinking sensation in my gut where I'm like, oh my god, that wasn't the pizza from last year. I'm carrying some disgusting abomination to her panel. Some lousy excuse. Of course, she still got a kick out of it, and it was awesome, and I really enjoyed having that moment with her. But it was like this could have been so much more if it would have been Nino's and not disgusting pizza that we had to settle for. What are some other good moments? Just hanging out with friends, of course. The Who's Line panel, absolute blast, loved it. Riffing is magic. Burnies React, having people just stop you and treat you like a rock star. You can't put words to it. It's just an amazing feeling.
I think the subtlety of everyone singing the lunch song was the best
Oh,
highlight
yeah.
for me.
All right.
That was literally like the most magical moment for me the whole con.
All right, so Josh, on Sunday morning or kind of like between morning and lunch, or morning and afternoon, we all went to the Pratt Street Ale House and got some lunch upstairs. And
Yeah.
our group was pretty large. It was everyone in this call plus some others like Jax Blade, Beavis wasn't there, Race Best, Gabe and his brother. A lot of people there. Draft was there. And when we were finishing up our lunch, we started singing a song. Like Matt started playing his guitar, and we just made up this impromptu song about our lunch. And it was so. Matt, you explain it better than I do.
I just started like sort of fooling around with the guitar, and we just started singing about random things. But then Black Griffin was really enjoying the rhythm of what I was playing, and he was just like, "We're going to sing about our lunch," and we were just like, "All right, well, okay then." So he started describing his salad, and then Basic started describing his chicken, and every time we would finish a verse, we would all sort of just like laugh about it, and then as if it were just like pure, like as if it were meant to be, all of a sudden everyone just started going, our lunch, our lunch, our lunch, our lunch, our lunch, and it was just
Perfection.
it was the most beautiful thing, and the guitar worked perfectly, and there was people snapping and clapping, and then Black Griffin would sing again, and all the people behind the bar were just staring at us.
It's like, what are these guys doing singing about? Because we like would jump from person to person to add a verse about their food. Like I'm like, I had a burger, it's gone because I'm fat. What about that? Our lunch, our lunch. It was fun. But okay, I think now is an appropriate time to open up the Q&A. We can rock these out.
Yeah, because we've been talking for a while now.
Yes,
so.
we have. All right, so this is for everyone. Chat, you can ask any one of us a question. Try to keep it on topic, or actually it can be whatever you want. Anything.
Yeah, it can be whatever.
As
but
as long as it's clean.
Like I already have quite a few in here.
Well, let's rock it out then.
All right. From Anonymous, what are your future plans, jobs mostly?
For careers?
I guess.
Oh man, we're getting right to the big stuff.
Okay, to the point.
All right, well, I got some questions. We'll start with some light ones.
Hurts right from the get-go.
What's the point of human existence? Oh man, all right, well, all right, well, I'm out of commission for the rest of the night. Career, I guess. I want to move to California, try my hand at YouTube comedy and other things, and continue my job at Rico as a salesperson. Try to work both, maybe become a teacher on the side. Who knows? I want to open more doors. That's my idea. Who's next?
Gee, my career plans. Well,
It's a big question.
It is.
me, and as you all know, like all of you, we all have big plans for the future, and
Yeah.
I for one, I tried my hand at college and everything. It didn't really work out, so I want to become an internet musician / producer in the way that I would help other, YouTubers or help other internet, figureheads or anything like that, and help provide music for them in audio work and producing. And basically, I want to be the backbone that helps, content creators with, basically with their audio and, collab and stuff like that. And I think that would be a lot of fun for me because I would be contributing to something bigger. And that's really what I want to do. I'm really content with that kind of path right now because it's really hard to get out there in the actual industry and to just be amongst, content creators that want to make it on their own while helping them get there. It's just a lot more fulfilling for me. So I don't know about you guys.
And people are welcome to skip this if they choose to, but whoever feels like answering, jump into it. Tom, go ahead.
No, for me, I know like logic would dictate, get a job, like get that security and stuff like that. But for me, the most rewarding work is when I'm doing something on my own. Like every time I've never been able to keep a job longer than a year just because I get really frustrated with it because like I'm all just about like working for myself and doing things that I really enjoy. And I don't know, I just have a lot of ideas, a lot of things I want to try. And I feel the most rewarding work is when you're working for yourself and following your passions and things like that. So, like, end goal, things I'd like to do, I'd like to keep doing my YouTube stuff, expand that, do reviews and maybe do some tutorials on, like, storytelling and stuff. And I'd love to become a writer, because I've done a lot of writing stuff. I'm kind of in this intermediate phase right now where I'm working on some new ideas I'm trying to flesh out. I'd love to just do some like independent kind of novelist sort of deal and self-publish and kind of just like build up an audience online. So anything that keeps me out of a cubicle pretty much is where my head's at, because I don't know, it's so much more difficult, but like it's so much more rewarding when you like succeed on your own terms, and I just really like that kind of pressure and that challenge that comes from, you know, forging your own path. It's much more difficult, but at the end of the day, like that's the kind of momentum that keeps me going. So anything where I can just be my own boss and do my own thing, I guess.
Well, anybody else want to answer this, or we'll move on to the next question? Guys?
I actually have another question here that is sort of expanding upon that.
What is it?
But it's not quite. It's like talking about jobs or whatnot. But it's talking about. It's from Shiny Whisperer, who's actually been a pretty loyal watcher of Bernie Breakdown for a very long time. And they ask, I'll miss your guys' show. Y'all are my favorite podcast. My favorite podcast and Bronies, regardless of horse fame. So what's the next project or plans now that Bernie Breakdown is over?
We'll finish Bernie Chronicles.
Yeah. Which there was also a question about that. And it was asking about like that we've been working on it for a while now and when it's going to come out. And it's
when is that going to come out? Seriously, holy crap!
Soon, TM.
Soon.
Trademarked. We have it done. I mean,
TBA.
MSP. We showed part of it. I thought we'd have it done before BronyCon, but the summer went by surprisingly quick, very quickly, and we haven't had a time to really finish it. We are almost there. Everything that needed to be contributed is there. I need to re-record it one more time. We need the last bit of credit stuff from one of our visual artists, and then
I'm gonna go through some audio clips this weekend and hand them over to Matt so he can help us with that a little bit.
We just need to pound these last things out. It will be done before 2019.
Well, that's a true statement.
We'll release it when Half-Life 3 comes out.
That's not before 2019.
Okay, but actually, we do have some pretty big plans for the future. Like we've been talking about doing a website together, but like we have the idea of what we want to make.
Don't say the name yet. Don't say the name. I want to keep it a secret.
We're not going to say the name of what it is.
We're very, very early in conceptual phases.
Yeah, we just need to find. We need to find someone who's good at making a website.
Yeah, basically we're still building the team. Like, there's going to be a team behind everything that we're planning, and everything that is being planned has a greater picture, but it's still very much in its infancy.
This is the Avengers initiate for us right now. We have Samuel Jackson recruiting people for this website.
Yeah, so you know, it's not the end of what, you know, we're all doing. You know, there's very much, you know, a lot of reason to be excited for what we've got, you know, planned, but it's very much, like I said, in its infancy stage, and we're all working towards bringing you guys something that's going to be really, really cool once it's actually set in stone and put out there for the world to see. So I really hope you all will stick around for that, because it's going to be a lot of freaking fun.
We talked about how a lot of us have all these different talents that, when brought together, can create something truly outstanding. Not to pat ourselves on the back, but as something like we always talk about what we love, and when you combine those different things into one project, it can be a work of art, something that you all can enjoy.
Saber.
Yes.
Everyone's saying the sound died.
Oh.
You got too impassioned.
Test. Can you all hear me now?
Wait 5 seconds.
All right, can you hear me now? It's back. All right, can you all hear everybody? All right, cool. Sorry about that. I was just so passionate.
I think people just need just tell people to refresh, because somebody said that they refreshed it and then it worked.
Somebody says Hasbro shut us down. That's funny. Okay, we're good now. So, yeah, we want to combine all of our talents and make something truly outstanding for you all to enjoy, and something that can have a long lifetime that we can keep doing and making stuff for you all. That's always been our end goal, is to make something we love for you who enjoy to watch it.
Right.
Because if you're entertained, then we're entertained, and everybody's happy.
If
Exactly.
you're entertained, we're making money.
Oh, shit.
Money.
Except for you.
Yeah.
It's like copyright strikes.
Don't even go there.
Meanwhile, on Twitch.
Oh god.
Yeah, you guys hear about that?
We'll save it for later.
Yeah.
Meanwhile on Twitch, I'm gonna beat this game in 5 hours.
Oh my god.
All right, let's
Next question,
Next
Paleo?
question. Yes.
Okay, if you guys end up doing podcasts again at a later date, will it be the 3rd season of Running Breakdown? No. It would actually be part of what we were just talking about. It would be part of that podcast. And I was thinking about doing my own type of podcast on my channel. Not very frequent, like maybe one every 2 weeks, where I just talk about different things and stream out on my Twitch and whatnot.
This is all Paleo just trying to get away from us.
Jeez, Paleo, just say it. All right, I'm out. I'm tired of you losers. All right. Next question.
Oh my god.
What you got?
Totally Not Furry asks,
Oh god. Here.
so what's the best username you guys have ever heard? Probably that one.
Best username. Oh god, this is tough. I've seen some pretty good ones in WoW. Oh my god, what was it?
Oh, I got one. Does this count? Yeah, that kind of. I guess it kind of counts. It's a player name I saw in Final Fantasy because you have to have Final Fantasy 14. You have to have a first and last name. There's somebody named Monday Tuesday. I was like, yes.
Monday, Tuesday. Wow.
I have to find it. I bookmarked it. I saw a name and I bookmarked the name. Let me see if I can find it. You can continue on if you need to while I look for it, but I know God, what was it? Can you all think of any?
I don't play enough multiplayer games to really have a great username.
Oh, isn't
Well,
there one on
just on-
Tumblr? Isn't there one on Tumblr? It's like this URL wasn't taken, but now it is.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
That's a good name.
Oh, I remember now. Was you know the word pwn, PWN?
yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody named Pwn Star. I love that.
Wow.
Pwn Star, Porn Star. Love. All right, next question.
For all 3 of you, or I guess it's 5 of you now. Or no, 6. I wasn't counting myself. For all 6 of you, what is the worst thing to happen to you at BronyCon?
At BronyCon or Brony conventions in general?
Tom,
Go ahead,
you
BronyCon.
gotta take the floor on this one. Tom, please.
I do have the most.
Oh yeah.
Man, okay. By the way, Josh was probably like, "What the fuck, seriously?"
No, I'm actually legitimately thinking about it. What would be the worst thing that happened to me?
To clarify the question, so it's for this past weekend, then, right?
Yeah, past
Right.
weekend.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, I told Saber, I told you about this, right?
I can't recall.
Everyone else here knows about my really awkward moment at BronyCon that really skeeved me out.
Oh, I have one. I don't really have one, but I have one on AC Race Best on his account. So go ahead. I want to hear yours.
Okay, so it was actually you guys were there, but you didn't see it happen because it was at the gala. Because I had borrowed that dude's jacket so I could go into the gala and film you and Race while you guys walked in. But then they ended up letting everybody in, so Gabe did it instead. So I was like, all right, forget this. I'm gonna bomb out of here. Like, this is not my scene at all. Like, I don't like being all dressed up, even if it's just like putting on some random dude's jacket, which is kind of sketchy in and of itself, but whatever. So I turn around to leave, and this dude in a masquerade mask just like blocks my path. And I'm just like, what? And he's like, dude, you need to dance. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna dance. Thank you for your interest, but I do not dance. I make Commander Shepard look good at dancing. I'm not gonna do this. And he's like, no, dude, I believe in you. I believe in you. You have to dance. And I'm like, no. And he's like, you gotta. And I'm just like, no. And I was trying to get around him kinda, and he would continually block my path to the point where I would have to like physically like remove him, like push him, shove him out of the way to get out of there. And he's just like, you gotta dance. I'm like, dude, I do not like to dance. I sit for a living. I have no motor control. I cannot dance. And he's like, but this girl wants to dance with you. And there was this like girl like standing next to him, but she didn't really sound like she knew what she was doing. And I'm like, dude, no. And for like a good solid 5 minutes, we go back and forth. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So finally, I ignore him and I turn to her. I'm like, "Do you even want to dance?" And just gives me this like, kind of like a shrug, just like barely paying attention. I'm like, "Oh my god, what is going on?" And he still won't let me leave. And I'm just like, "Do you want to dance or not?" And she's like, "It's kind of why I'm here." And I'm just like, so now at this point, I don't know if she's just like totally out of it, or she just like is like really afraid of my horse fame.
How old was she?
Oh God, I don't know. She wasn't young. So I'm just like, you know what, fine, whatever. I'm not gonna get out of here. So I dance, and I like suck horribly, and I'm convinced that someone from Horse News is recording it right now because this whole thing feels like a setup. And I'm like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, and my inbox is gonna be bombarded with like horrible gifs of me like doing like this horrible dance that I can't do. And I'm just waiting for it. I'm waiting for it to hit the internet because I got forced to dance and I ran as soon as it was over, and it was the most awkward moment of my life. So that happened. That was a weird moment at BronyCon. I'm still waiting for it to blow up in my face.
A weird moment at BronyCon for me. Okay, well, at the end.
Worst thing.
Yeah, that's true. At the end of Whose Line. Okay, so I tried to organize it to where the ice cold water guy would show up on stage, and credit to the BronyCon staff for helping to try to make this happen, but the guy was a no-show, and the awkwardness of like trying to like end the show on a high note when we had no idea what we were going to do. There was some miscommunication, without having it was just difficult, and it won't happen again next year. I learned a very important lesson: never try to end a show on something that might not happen. Because we could have finished it with the water thing. That would have been it. That could have been it. But we tried to keep it going, and it just fell apart. So that was kind of an embarrassing moment. And it wasn't even like, it was my fault completely. But I think the rest of the show was great enough to where it kind of made up for it. But yeah, that was kind of a moment I had.
You know, and this happened this BronyCon, and it's not really embarrassing as much, well, like, you know, awkward as, well, it was a little awkward. It was more funny though. Me and BVids were in my car, and we were talking a lot, and, you know, we were just getting, you know, really into our conversation, and me and BVids finally just look at each other, and we're just like, let's go upstairs. So we get out of the car, and we're walking to the elevator, and I hit the elevator button, and we go up, and then we go to the other elevators to go to my room. And the doors open, we both go in, there's nobody around, it's dark, and the elevator stops on, you know, the 3rd floor. And this really posh couple, older couple, maybe in their 60s, gets into the elevator. They're completely wasted, and they look like they're like the kind of like posh family that'd be like really rich, and the lady's just like, "Are you two from the pony convention?" And I'm just stiff as a board, and Beavis just goes, "Yeah, we're sort of," and she just like, "Oh, this is so interesting. I see everyone around here, and they just look all so fascinating. And you all have nicknames. What's your nickname?" Beavis. And he goes, "It's Beavis. And she goes, "And you have one too. What's your name?" "DB Pony." And we're both standing there really quiet, and it finally gets to her floor. The doors open up, and she just looks at us and goes, "Is there any way I can buy a souvenir without going into the convention itself?" And the husband just pulls her out of the elevator, and the doors close. And we just
Amazing.
we just look at each other, and Beavis just goes, "She was drunk as fuck."
Well, I have one. It was Thursday. Everybody was showing up. I was at the Pratt Street Ale House, and as you all know, there were some of these pipe guys there that weekend as well. Some kind of fraternity meetup.
Oh, yeah.
And there's one guy there. He had the courage, because I remember walking in holding the CDs for Black Griffin and his brother, because it just showed up, and they were getting out of the car and walked inside. Our group was there. Some EFM people were there. You know, our people from our group were there. And this semi-drunk guy gets up and he's like, "Yo, what's the deal with ponies?" And I've just had it. I'm so tired of answering this question, especially for people who are doing it to get a kick out of it. And I got right up close to him, but not aggressive, but very friendly. Where I'm like, "Oh man, it's all about having sex with horses." And it completely threw him off. He's like, "What?" I'm like, "Just kidding, man." And I kept doing this over and over. I'd make wild accusations and then retract them and just throw him off to the point where he was just bewildered and didn't know what was going on. Where he was trying to laugh at us and our group was laughing at him. He didn't realize the trap he walked into. Oh my god! If only RaceBest was there, it would have been a kill shot. But it was quite hilarious. See this guy walk up with his confidence and then walk away with his tail between his legs. So that was quite a triumphant moment for me. All right. So next question.
Oh wait, I have a thing.
Oh well, that's good.
I like
So-
how you just, like skipped a lot of people. You're just like, well, I answered. Next question.
The last episode of Bernie Breakdown,
how the show
and
works,
someone's
man.
finally called me out on it. Dang it, Mama Josh got me.
So
What
Hirosashi,
was the question?
What?
What was the question again that we were?
it was like the worst
You
thing
literally
that.
just answered it.
I forgot. All right. Well, who else wants to answer
You're
it?
worse than Kevin Smith.
Oh my God! Please.
You
I-
just you
I don't-
take a question and then you run off with it for like 30 minutes, Saber. And it was like, did that answer even answer what you were asking?
I'll be a great congressman someday.
You totally will. Anyway, what was the question? I forgot.
With the worst thing that happened to you at BronyCon, I didn't really have any bad things happen except for when me, Hirosashi, and a few others we were going to a CVS to get some like waters and
Oh
sodas.
my gosh.
Yeah, I was there for this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whose Mac is
and
having a
there's
seizure?
what?
I said, whose Mac is having a seizure? Because all I hear is.
Well, I do PC, so I'm good. All right, so continue Paleo.
So yeah, there you know the guys in Baltimore who always come up to you and is like, hey, you can help out a brother or something. And
Oh my gosh. Please, one more time for me, please.
Please, Paleo, you're the whitest guy I know. I want to hear this again.
Yeah, please do it again.
no. I'm
Jack-
not.
Jack's Blade's going nuts.
Jack's Blade is dying.
I'm gonna download this. That's gonna be my new freaking like text tone or something.
Hey, can you help a brother out?
He like stuck the landing on the ER at the end of that word.
Can you help a brother
Oh
out?
My brother.
But anyway,
my-
yeah, like
Yeah.
God damn it, I ruined it. Anyway, but yeah, we were basically saying that yeah, no, we got to get to our room. We really need to go, and we were just going, and he just kept stopping us, and he was like, "Hey, can I at least have a Mountain Dew?" Because I was carrying the Mountain Dew, and I was like, "No, we gotta go."
He like wanted to bring us to like a recruitment center or something.
Yeah, something like that.
That's probably a
And
mugging
he's like,
waiting
no,
to
forget the
happen.
recruitment center. Just give me a drink. We're like, dude, what are you talking about?
After the second time he stopped us and we started moving again, I had my eyes like just kind of in the corner of my eyes, just looking. I was like, if that dude pulls out a thing, we're gonna have an
Hero
issue.
was like ready to throw down. I was like, Hero, I don't know if your quarter circle is gonna work in real life, but I'll be interested.
It's like when we went in Baltimore. It's like, where's Jack's Blood? Jack's Blood. Jack's Blood. Okay, we have our delegates. We're fine. Yo, brother. No. Jack's Blood. Jack's Blood. Talk to him. I don't speak your language. What does he want?
What?
I say brother instead of brother.
Oh my god.
Well, there was this weird moment where when we got there on Thursday, we were walking to the registration, and there's this dude with this black dude wearing like pink scrubs, and he's like, "Yo,"
Oh, yeah.
it was weird. He shook my
It's like
hand.
Jimmy John's.
Well, he walked. I mean, I don't know why my reaction. 'Cause he held his hand out and I shook his hand. Which as soon as I did, I'm like, oh god, I gotta like cut my hand off now. And I remember him, and he put his hand out to shake Hirosashi's hand, and Hirosashi just shook his head like, nah, no, I'm not touching it. And he's like, yeah, well, I need you to take this car. You know, I gotta get my car or something like that. And he had some car keys. And I'm like, well, then get your car. And as soon as as soon as he said something about getting a car, like you knew he had something he was gonna ask for. We just like gunned him. Like, nope, bye. Ignore it. I mean, it happens in any inner city, any city.
That's weird because somebody did a similar thing to me. Like he came up to me and was like, "I need to get my car out the parking garage, but I don't have money." And I'm saying like, "I'll pay you back, this and that." And then he's like, "Oh, can my daughter use your phone?" And I'm just like, looking. I'm just looking, and it's weird because like he asked me if she can use my phone after she goes, "Yo, where's my phone?" And I'm like looking at her, and he goes, "Yo, can she use your phone?" And I'm like, I have no fucking time for this. And I just like,
Oh
I
God.
thought it was weird because I wasn't sure if he was like being genuine or not. Because then when I went to go leave, I didn't have money to get out of the parking lot, and I was just like, this is karma.
Well,
There was also another thing that happened with Hirasashi and Tom when we were ordered the second time we ordered Nino's.
oh, the frat guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, the frat guys tried to steal our pizza. Jack's Wave was there too.
Yeah. No, like we went to go get our pizza, and the guy was there, like he was ready to like sign off. We could take our pizzas back to our room, and the frat guys came in. They're like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" I was like, "Okay, you're drunk." Just you like immediately. You know, you can
Right.
tell immediately that somebody's drunk. You're like, yeah, you. No one else here.
Those frat guys were easily the bane of my existence. Their company or their parent company, organization, whatever you want to call them.
Why dads buy their son stuff? Yes.
No. They're getting a very strongly worded letter from about 3 different companies about how they behaved that weekend to my attendees and my staff and others. I am not at all happy with them, and I thank God, or whatever you want to thank. I don't care, especially since I don't believe in God. But that's not the point.
Celestia cries.
But that apparently Pike, which is the name of the group, is a biannual event, and they go city to city. So thank God in 2 years there's somebody else's problem.
Well, frat guys, when I first saw the Pike thing, I just internally was dying laughing because I'm like, if there's 2 groups that are just opposite of each other, it's frat guys and bronies.
Yeah, it was
Right.
both side story.
Like you could have had like Nazi sympathizers, and they probably get along better with bronies and frat guys. You know,
Oh my god.
it's
That's going a little too far. I mean,
okay.
Who's squeaking?
Russian. So I don't know, but I guess the point is that frat guys, they have a very superior mindset where they think they're better than others, and I don't know, not all frat guys are the same, but that tends to be their culture is we are the best there is when it comes to being the cool dudes, and it's very obnoxious.
And the thing is, some of them were actually really good with our attendees and just wanted to get like pictures and talk to them and like have fun.
Yeah, some of them are cool.
But it's the what's the word for it? The vocal minority that ruined it
Right.
for everybody. In the Pike group, because they ended up being extremely troublesome. Like I said, they were troublesome to my attendees, to my staff. If reports are correct, you remember those sidewalk stickers we had?
Yeah.
They tore them off the street.
Wow, what dicks.
I have to look back at records.
That's illegal.
I have to look back at records for that to confirm it before I can legitimately say it. But I'm pretty sure the records that I have saying it, I have point to them. I don't want to like cause a feeding frenzy against it, but I mean, it's I feel like there's a smoking gun there. But I need to confirm it before I actually point a finger. So there's all kinds of things where it's basically these guys need to have their superior or whatever. They need to get a formal complaint from like 5 different groups. I said 3 before, and it's actually 3, not 5.
Well, funny enough, when I'm walking around, I'm looking at bronies, and then, like, if I was just a neutral person, I would feel more threatened from frat guys than bronies, because bronies are just a bunch of goofy nerds. Frat guys, it's a very cult-like group, and it's kind of creepy. Like, they all look and dress the same. At least bronies have their main looks they can dress up as.
Gross. Disgusting.
But, yeah, that was interesting. What was the question again, Paleo?
Worst thing to ever happen to you?
Yeah, we're pretty much done with that question, so let's go to another one.
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to answer.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Wow.
Jeez, Paleo.
I am all out of numbers to divide by 2 because I just cannot even.
Oh.
That was totally a forced laugh. Anyway,
most puns are.
So I have 2. I have the worst thing, which I can't really go into, but then I can have the strangest thing. The worst thing for me as a con chair is ever having to pull badges. And had to do that a few times this weekend. I hate having to do it. And when I say myself, I mean our badge pulling policy. It rarely ever happens. It happened a couple of times. It's always the suckiest thing of my job.
Well, I told you I was sorry.
Yeah, geez. You weren't supposed to say it was you, Saber.
Now, are you taking away badges, or are you literally just going up to people and going, "I pulled your badge," and they're going, "Ah!"
No. The policy for us is something has to happen, and depending on who we're revoking a badge from, it's myself, my head of security, or one of my top members of security, and then the head of the appropriate department. So, like, if it's an attendee, it's probably security. If it's a staff, it's con ops. If it's press, it's PR. If it's a panelist like Saber, it's events, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then we do our thing. We talk, blah blah blah, and we choose: will we or won't we? And yada yada yada. And then it happens or it doesn't. And unfortunately, a couple of times it had to happen this weekend. And that is, like I said, that's the worst part of my job at the con. Now, downside stories aside, I do have probably the weirdest story that happened to me from Sunday. I was walking back from dinner on Sunday, obviously, and we were walking next to this local guy, black dude, has had comically sideways, and like his shirt was like half over his neck. And he was strutting with the best of them. It was great. And like there was just a bunch of bronies everywhere, and a bunch of other people. And I will never forget what he said. And that was, "Man, if you ain't from Baltimore, don't be a fan of the Ravens."
What?
What?
If you're from Cleveland, go be a fan of the Browns. But if you ain't from Baltimore, don't be a fan of the Ravens. It was just like the most random thing. I've been at a pony convention all weekend, and that, for whatever reason, after a long weekend, just struck me as the most random comment ever.
I feel like this has to be some wisdom.
Don't be a fan of the Orioles. Don't be a fan of the Ravens. Be a fan of wherever you're from. You leave Baltimore be.
I feel like it's some like wise old sage that we just don't understand yet, but we will in time.
One day we will.
It'll be like it'll dawn upon us.
The prophecy of 2014 shall be fulfilled in 2 years.
Whoa, he's right. Don't be a fan. All right, next question.
All right, this is from Voice of Reason, who's in the chat.
Hey, boys.
What panel would you like to see next year to keep things fresh?
Huh.
Let me take notes. Give me a second.
Well, there's so many things that we already missed last time that it's like
I know, like there's a lot that I didn't see.
Like I love. I mean, geez, what are some panels? I like the interactive ones.
Like the workshops.
Yeah, those are cool. Those are rad. I like the. Well, it's hard not to be biased. I love Who's Line, and it's something I was involved with. That will always be my favorite.
Everyone loves Who's Line, don't worry.
But as in like outside of the stuff I was in, cosplay. I love the cosplay stuff.
Yeah, the cosplay contest is very fun.
It'd be cool to see maybe a spin on that where. Wouldn't it be kind of cool if they had something where you can ask some of the cosplayers to like perform like a show? I don't know, with their characters, or I don't know.
That could be fun. The thing I really missed about the cosplay, I totally missed the cosplay contest because I wanted to see the comic book men guys go up with you guys. Totally missed it. Now I have to wait for comic book men to actually come out on air on AMC.
Yeah, that's going to be like next year sometime, isn't it?
Probably. I need to see if I can't scope a couple of like DVD copies of that episode or whatever.
That went well, the cosplay contest.
Yeah, it looked really good.
This one dad, I was on stage and he walked up with his son, and his son was like 2 or 3 years old, and he had a Rainbow Dash like pajama suit on, and the kid was just crying like, ah! Ah! And I missed it because after he walked off stage, I came up with the perfect comment. I should have said, "Don't worry, I was crying at my first PonyCon too." I missed it.
There was actually one type of panel that BVids has talked about. I'm not sure if it happened at BronyCon because, like I said, I wasn't able to go to a lot of the panels. But yeah, it's what he's talking about in chat right now. says art battles where 2 artists go up and compete to see who can control a whiteboard and get the biggest crowd reaction. The winner is judged by a decibel rating.
Oh my
So-
gosh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be like an art battle. It would be really cool.
Oh my god, BVids. That's a brilliant idea.
That is pretty cool. Like just a bunch of whiteboards. I like that idea.
And that gets the artist involved. That's hard to do, really. Besides a Q&A.
Yeah.
True.
I think I've seen that at a convention before.
Yeah, because
Fair.
even said it was like an anime convention or something.
That'd be a lot of fun. Somebody should totally submit that as a panel idea next year. I would totally see that.
That's cool. I like that.
A+ to whoever said that. Who was that again?
It was
Vivid.
Vivid.
Vids.
The vids.
Brony videos.
Ooh, never heard of him. Next. What's the question?
Okay, do you guys have any panel ideas?
No, I don't.
More panels with me and Tabitha at the same time.
Did you ever
Have
see
that.
Tom? Did you see her?
Of you
No, I did not see any of the show
Oh,
staff.
oh, you didn't see
I've never
Tabitha,
talked-
Tom.
I've never talked with any of the
Tom!
show staff ever.
Tom, that was a mission.
I know. I didn't. I was hanging out with you guys the whole time.
Oh, Tom, that's sweet. You're an idiot, though. We have next year. We've got to get you to go see her. God, I feel.
I was thinking because like
I
Jack
took it
was
away
telling me
from
how he was
you.
hanging out with Kazumi Evans, and I'm like, it's probably a good thing I didn't see her because I would have just geeked out. I'd be like, "Can you sing Out of the Dress for me, please?" And she'd be like, "Get out." I'm like, "I'm sorry."
Apparently, Kazumi and Jax were like chatting up like old buddies.
They're dating now.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I ship it. All right. Anybody else?
What for the question? I don't
Yep.
think so.
All right. The next
Here, Slash, you
question.
got an idea or anything?
I'm boring.
Oh, okay.
That's a fun.
I
panel.
mean, but like I was saying before, I mean, I'm gonna pull it up. I just realized I have my camera up still. It's like you look at all this. If you magically hit all of this, I'm damned impressed in you.
Keep running. We gotta go to panels.
Like, there's no way you can see everything. So even if we end up having like some really popular repeats, chances are you probably missed it. You might have missed it the previous year, and now you get your chance to see it again.
Yes.
That said, I'm totally all for new, fresh ideas. I really love that art idea. I hope somebody actually submits that. Man, I am not just trying to telegraph that to BVids at all, that he should probably submit that idea when it comes time next year, but he should probably do that.
There you go, guys. That doesn't get any easier than that. Whoever submits it first wins.
Okay. Here's a question from Anonymous. Since you guys are talking about BronyCon, it got me thinking, do you think BronyCon will still be as big or as fun after My Little Pony ends? Or I guess Friendship is Magic ends, since My Little Pony is a franchise, so it's probably going to be going on for a while.
That's interesting because you could ask the same thing for like Star Wars or Star Trek. Even
Oh,
after they.
one-
Go ahead.
I was gonna say one thing that surprised me that I forgot is still going on is there are still Power Rangers conventions.
Well, there you go.
There are.
Yeah,
Power
Morphicon is going on in California, like next month, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Ponies
and
will
like
always have
Black
a
Nerd
con.
is going to be there. That's how I know about it.
You too can meet the Black Ranger and Tommy and get into like a arm wrestling match. Arm wrestle the Green Ranger.
Somebody called Dusty Cat to beat him.
He does MMA now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
I
undefeated.
would not want to arm wrestle him. He would probably tear my arm off and then make me apologize for inconveniencing him.
You got blood on my shirt. But I think BronyCon will always have an audience who want to go. I know I'll be one of them. Even after the show ends, I'll still want to go just to see everybody and participate. It's just a fun little hobby, if anything, and a good excuse to go see friends.
Plus, plus, I mean, like I even talked about earlier, BronyCon is always evolving. I mean, bit by bit. Like I said, you look at it in 2012 when every year everyone says this is the pinnacle of the fandom. After this, it is all downhill. But you look at like what people considered the pinnacle of the fandom in 2012, and it not getting any better than BronyCon then. And then you look at the fandom now and BronyCon now, and it's a different place. It's a familiar place, but it is completely different, and in a lot of ways, just a lot better and a lot more interesting. And I think for years to come, that will continue to happen. even when the show finally ends, whenever that may be, whenever Hasbro says, you know, we have enough money, we're good. We don't need to do this anymore.
Yeah, because corporations always say that. You know what?
Right?
Maybe we've made
You
too
know-
much money.
Hey,
Yeah, we need
Saber.
some of this back.
I mean, you have too much money. Like, I have student loans. You want to throw me a bone here, man?
Hey,
I'm
Saber.
just saying.
Yes, Matt.
I just wanted to, because I know that you, even Paleo, can understand this, but we were all watching this kids channel yesterday. This does
Yes.
this has
Oh
something-
yeah,
This
yeah.
this is
And,
special.
Yeah, and it was weird because when we found the channel, it was through a picture on Tumblr of a screenshot of this kid's video, and it was so obscure and so weird that it started getting a lot of notes, and we thought it was a funny picture, so we were like, this has to be a real video somewhere. And then Paleo found it and linked us to the channel, and to our complete surprise, the videos were entertaining.
Delightful.
It was delightful.
That,
It was-
we got to explain first because, like,
Yeah.
the image you think like was to make a mockery of it, and at first, yeah, it was kind of the vibe you got. The kid's name is Nathan, really cool guy. Bumped him in at BronyCon. He had his group of friends, and he did a vlog thing very similar to AC Race Best. Now, at first we got into it, we thought, you know, we'll watch a little bit to see, you know, what's going on. We didn't really expect too much, not to belittle him, but most vlogs, even Race Best, they suck hard. No, I'm just saying that most, I mean, just, I don't know, we didn't know what to expect. But we watched it, and the kid is super genuine, and to see, like, from a perspective of just an average con goer with him and his friends, how much fun they had, like, Matt and I were jealous.
Yeah, we were really, really envious of how much fun this kid had with his friends, and what was even better was that we got to see ourselves through these videos, and the perspective of which we were presented in the videos was so bizarre.
I gotta find the one clip that
Oh
killed
my
us.
God,
Let me
that
find
was
it.
fun.
Hold on.
No.
I got a video.
Don't say it
I'm gonna-
yet. Is it the one with the what I think it is? The one with the person walks up.
Day 3, part 2.
The one with AC Race Best talking.
Yeah.
Yes, link it so we all can watch it together.
I need to see this mysterious.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
my
guys haven't
God.
seen it yet.
But so the kid, his name's Nathan, and he has two friends named Jesse and John, and it was delightful. And Nathan's father was hilarious. They were all funny, and not like a ha 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 laughing at, but more like, my gosh, it's just it's hysterical to laugh with these guys because they have this genuine nature about them that was just. It was hysterical. I was done. I haven't laughed that hard in a long time, and I had a good feeling like at the end, like man, I want this guy to keep making videos like this where it's kind of like campy, but still like not obnoxious. Like he wasn't trying to push anything to make it happen. It just happened, and I genuinely enjoyed it. And to tie it back into the BronyCon stuff, you could tell that these guys had a fun time at the con.
Yeah.
All right, so is this the video?
Yeah, this is the video.
All
The
right.
one that has us in the thumbnail.
All right, so we gotta find. Let me find the timestamp for this because the timestamp is beyond hysterical.
So while you're finding the timestamp, I have to push back to something a little earlier. I totally got a confirmation from a Baltimore local. She's on my design staff. Her name's Emily. It's actually Nino's 2. It's literally the same place, but they just changed the sign.
Really?
So if you look up Nino's 2 on like Nino's 2 Baltimore, Maryland, it's the same people.
But
Huh.
hey, this isn't the same video. It's the next one.
It's the next one?
Yeah, I'll link it.
Link the timestamp too, because I'm lazy.
All right, let me find it. It's hysterical. All right, so I'm gonna link the timestamp right now.
Why does this guy have it? I mean, more power to him, but I'm just like seeking through this video, and suddenly there's a Thomas the Tank Engine.
He's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
fan
yeah.
of trains.
Dude, I don't care. This kid's a mad big fan of trains, but he does like a video review on like Thomas the Tank Engine trains. I was fascinated.
Yeah,
with it.
same. Just because it started off where they went to the store and were looking at the toys, and they brought them back, and they all like analyzed the toys and took them apart, and they analyzed them. It was amazing. It was like, wow,
Yeah.
why this, and how they caught very little things about the toys that made them different. I'm like, it's a world you didn't know about.
Yeah, Tom, the way you analyzed like MLP episodes, these kids just did that to toys, and it was blowing my mind.
All right, so you all at 132?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all gonna watch this together, okay? And we're gonna laugh because
Okay,
race
Saber,
best.
do you have it on the stream?
132. Yes, I do. What we do, Josh, is I'll say 3, 2, 1, and I'll say go, and on go we press play, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I think I might be able to keep up with that. We'll see.
You'd be surprised. Some people are like, I win at 3. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Sort of.
Pinkie Pie tried to maul me while I was getting a picture with Nathan, Nathan's camera and Nathan's cameraman, kinda. Look at the people. Look at this. This is why BronyCon will always be protected. Because of people like this.
I'm pausing on that.
I didn't see anything in the stream.
Really?
Yeah, it's still just the picture.
That's strange. Did y'all see it?
I mean, it went for them.
No. That's hilarious.
You just suck, Paleo.
Oh my god, I just love that. Ray's like, this is why BronyCon's protected, because of people like them. Sup, guys?
Sup, guys? Yeah, we're gonna be fine. And the guy with this freaking death mask walks through. He's just staring at us.
And then you have this thing right here where Jack Boy and myself are like jumping into the water, and Matt walks right up and like kicks him. It's so weird watching it from their perspective because we were just walking around and we had no idea. So a very cool little video series. Nathan, if you're watching this, keep what you're doing, man. You'll find
this is like really trippy to like see it from another perspective.
Yes, it is. And once again, for Nathan and his channel, like, you just got to hammer out what you want to do, dude. There's something there. You don't get laughs from Matt and myself very easily. So, but you do.
Yeah, dude, we watched like all of his videos last night, like every single one that we can watch. Because at the end of all of his videos, it was like my camera broke halfway through.
We were legit upset.
Yeah, we were upset because we were just like, these videos are so entertaining, and he was just like, sorry, my camera broke, and we were just like, no.
And his dad, his dad, and the dynamic he has with his son, like Nathan and his father, are hilarious. It's like, it's just little comments.
There's that one where he was like looking across the street at the like Royal Farms place, and he said, "It's the skank hole." Like, what?
Or there's a bird that flew across the camera, and Nathan's talking. He's like, "Yeah, so we're bird."
Yeah, he was the way he said it though, because he was just like, "So yeah, and then we're gonna holy shit, it's bird."
Or there's one. They're at this meetup with his friend Jesse. And there's a cake that said happy first birthday. And Nathan, just with a sarcastic, he's like, well, Jesse, congratulations.
Happy first birthday. Congratulations.
So mad props to Nathan and his guys. And if anything, to tie back in with this, it showed us that these people go to the con. You don't have to be like us where you have panels. You can have fun just going there and chilling out with your friends, which is honestly what it should be all about.
That's what the convention really is all about. That's what conventions are. It's going there, meeting people, and just being real and having fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
totally
you know, we all. I think we here all like to joke about like the fucking horse famous shit. But I mean, at the end of the day, none of that shit matters. All that matters is just being real and having fun. I think I said to Saber like, goddamn, 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
This whole thing, this whole fandom is just riding the lightning, and just leaving it with as many friends as you possibly can at the end of the day, whenever this crazy train ends, and having fun. And these conventions and BronyCon provides a place for you to do it.
Yes.
Oh, I completely agree. Cider, he's logging off the stream. He's the guy who made the current fan art the art for the stream. So thank you, Cider. Have a good night, man, and thank you for your viewership. All right. So next question.
Okay, man, I just had it. Let me scroll down to where it was.
We'll write this out to around 11:30, and then we'll probably or y'all want to go to midnight or 11:30?
Yeah, we can go to midnight. I mean, it's the last thing, so.
When the end comes, I want to do something special. I want to take my pants off. Now, I want to do something special.
Finally.
2 years, finally.
Pay off.
Okay, so here's a question from Reactive Paradigm. Says, I've been watching Bernie Breakdown since it began back in the pre-EFN days. It helped me to ease into the fandom and discover communities that have created friendships that I still maintain today. I can't begin to thank you guys for the dedication to this community and countless laughs your show has brought me. Sappy stuff aside, though, I wanted to know, how did you all go about telling your family and friends about the fandom? Do they know how involved you are within it? Read #HorseFamous.
Yeah, okay, I'll start this off. So, my guy in Twitch, I was living with my brother-in-law. He's a police officer. He's about 3 or 4 years older than I am. And I was living with my sister as well. She's about 2 years older than I am. So, I was living at their house. It was near my school, North Georgia. I started into the pony stuff. I had my own room there. And one day I decided, like, I was watching on YouTube, and I thought, I love My Little Pony. Oh my god, I gotta go out and get some kind of, toy. Fortunately enough, in the Boons out of North Georgia, they had one Rainbow Dash toy that was left, and I got it, and I brought it home. It was the $5 kind you get at Walmart. I brought it home, and I was very upset because it wasn't show accurate. So I went online to a DeviantArt tutorial on how to cut the hair and hairspray it and get it proper. And I still have that toy to this very day. So I was in the bathroom trying to get things figured out, using my sister's hairspray and the scissors. And she came home from work, and she opened the bathroom door, and she's like, "Steven, what's..." And I'm sitting there with scissors and hairspray, taking care of a pony doll. I'm like, "Sarah, I like My Little Pony." And she kind of just looked at me with disbelief and closed the door. Later that night, she kind of laughed like, "Oh, that's so funny," thinking that's a joke. And then the next week, she's like, "Wow, this is still happening. Steve, are you serious?" And then once my parents found out, it was my dad was like, my dad's always business. He's like, "Steven, that's fine. Just, keep focus on sales. Keep focus on business." Mom was like, "Oh, my son's getting addicted to something else again now. First it was to wows, and now it's ponies."
To wows?
And my little sister is very liberal, so she's like, cool. So, so over time, the family, has gotten used to it. It's just, it's not a lifestyle. You shouldn't treat it like it's a lifestyle. If anything, it's just like, hey, yeah, I do this for fun, and that's it. So that's how it is for me. I guess at first there's a little bit of awkwardness, but my brother-in-law's an officer, and he's a very southern guy, and he's like, took him a long time to accept it too. He's like, "Sarah, what's wrong with your brother?"
Well, for me, I started doing the reviews of the episodes in season 2, and I never really told anyone about it. I didn't tell my dad or my mom until I made my big video. Then I showed my dad, and he was like, "That's cool." So he's very, very casual about everything. So and my mom doesn't really care either about whether I watch it or not. So they're very laid back about it. So I don't really have a big story to go on that.
Who's next?
I'll go next. Oh no,
yeah,
Matt, you go next.
No, you go next.
Damn it!
Mine's not very entertaining.
All right, I'll try and make mine entertaining then. So my family they're the kind of people who will let me do whatever I want, but I just know they won't project like, "Wow, you're weird," but you can just kind of tell. And so my older sister, I have 2 sisters. I have a sister who's older but still younger than me, so she's 23 and I'm 26. And then I have a younger sister who at the time was 11, but now she's 13. So my older of my 2 sisters found out first because I saw Fighting is Magic on Joystick. That's how I first found out about the whole horse thing. And my little sister had watched G3. So I just sit through that all the time when I was babysitting her back in the day and stuff. And I was like, there is no way that this show could ever do anything that isn't absolute garbage. It's impossible because I've seen it and it's the worst. So I was like, I'm not gonna, people are sitting through Minty's Christmas and liking it, impossible. So I eventually watched the first few episodes. I'm like, oh yeah, this is actually not too bad. I take back what I just said, but I didn't get addicted. I stopped watching it, Griffin the Brush Off, and then I kind of fell out of it for a little while. But eventually I got back into it, and I watched the whole thing in 2 days, marathoned it. And my older sister noticed, because we hang out and watch anime and stuff all the time. And back when I was starting to watch it, I used my giant 37-inch TV as my monitor on my computer. So anyone would come downstairs and decided to pass a casual glance over in these 2 days, I'm like, he's watching a little girl show. So she did, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I don't know. They got me, because she knew about the pony thing because she's on Tumblr all the time, so she sees like the images and stuff. And I guess her one of her friends on Tumblr, because she used to be even more addicted to Tumblr than I am, would send her like creepypastas and stuff all the time. So one of the creepypastas she got was cupcakes. So she sent me cupcakes, and it's like, you watched the show, didn't you? Like, maybe you'd appreciate this. I'm like, I don't appreciate this at all. So I was like, it's so horrible. I have to go back and like associate myself with the good things about these characters. That's when I finished marathoning the whole show. And so she came down, she's like, so are you a brony now? I'm like, I'm a little Bernie curious. And that's where the name came from. It was the worst joke ever. But the whole thing is we go back and forth and make terrible jokes like that. So it was kind of in line for the way we talk to each other. But I was just like, I just want to make a blog and bother you on Tumblr now, because she was obsessed with Tumblr. And I was like, I need to make the most embarrassing blog ever and like let everyone know that I'm related to you so I can piss off all your friends. So I made a blog called Brony Curious because I know she groaned at the pun. And then I just started spamming MLP gifs like constantly. Like I had my queue set, just post 48 every half an hour. So for like 2 weeks straight, every half an hour on a Dash and Pony gif would come up because I made it to do that. And she was getting really pissed off, and I thought it was hilarious. But then I realized now I have 300 followers on this blog, and all I'm doing is uploading gifs. Like maybe I should do something.
Yeah, I think that's the reason I followed your blog, because my blog was originally called what is it?
Hopefully something cheap.
I forgot what. Oh yeah, confound these ponies. That's what my original blog was called, and I think I followed yours because you were posting gifs.
I think I recognized that name too, so that's funny. Yeah. So I knew who you were before I knew who you were. But yeah, I did that for a while. And then I got to the point where I was like, okay, like this started as a joke, but now I'm actually like really, really into it now. I need to get some swag, obviously, because, you know, like I'm never gonna get laid again, so I might as well just like So I'm like,
see, that's a good way of looking at it.
Right. Like I'm just like, I have like my own like shrine to my self-induced celibacy. It's okay. Like whatever. So I look at all the toys, like the ones at Walmart that you got. I'm like, no, these are not up to snuff for my incredibly high standards. It's like, there's got to be something better than this. Like, they're not show accurate at all. Like, they look at my little sister's toys, and I couldn't live myself if they ever got something like that, because then I'm just dead. So I find, like, the McDonald's ones from 2011, and they still have, like, the brushy tails, but their heads, like, the heads are, like, made with a plastic sculpted mane, so they look a little bit better. I'm like, those. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get Rainbow Dash. Now I'm going to get Pinkie Pie. I made Fluttershy. Fuck it, I'm just gonna get them all. So I dropped like $50 and get the whole set.
What?
And, like, yeah, like they cost $50 to get the whole thing, because like they cost a lot of money.
You don't want to lose money on this.
Shh. It's okay. I was addicted. Obviously. I don't even want to talk about how much money I've spent on MLP merch now, okay? So I'm like, I put them up on my shelf where all my other stuff is, and I'm like, nobody comes down here. No one ever realized. And then, of course, my little sister comes down randomly one day and notices that they're there. He's like, what the heck are those? I'm like, oh, I got caught again. So then she proceeds to tell everyone in the house, and I'm just like, okay, yep. I watched the show, and it's really good. And my mom's just like, what is wrong with my son? Like, shouldn't you be like out, like having a, you're not even moved out of the house yet. You're like regressing. You're aging backwards. I'm like, yes. So she still like gives me shit about it all the time. Like she's okay with it now. It took me a while. Like now that I'm making money off of it, she's just like, okay, maybe you're not a complete fucking failure. But in the beginning,
thanks, Mom.
Like there was definitely some like, what is wrong with our son? He went to college for 4 years, graduated, and now he's watching horses in our basement. Like something has gone horribly wrong.
Or something has gone horribly right.
So like that's pretty much how it happened. My sister was a blabbermouth, and then I mean now I have posters. I have like 20 plushies or something.
Jesus.
Some of them were gifts. Okay.
Nice.
Like 3.
Yeah, you got a lot of gifts at BronyCon.
I did. I got 2 plushies for free this past BronyCon.
What is one of the... I remember when Dusty Cat got his, and I was like, wow, that thing's awesome.
Yeah, Dusty got a great one. Pretty jelly of that. But yeah, that's my story.
All right, who's next?
Did this become like the Brony origin story or something?
I think so.
That was the question.
That was the question.
Yeah. I thought it was, do your parents know? Not your parents find out.
And that's why I discovered I was bisexual. Yeah. So what was the question? Favorite ice cream?
The question pretty much is like, do your parents know about it, and like how did they react or something like that?
Oh, okay. Well, I'll totally take dibs, I guess. Um, well, you see, it was way back in 2011, the Wild Wild West, when Cheeseburger Network was where bronies got their content.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
This legitimately does actually start there. I will be
The
honest.
Wild West of Cheeseburger Network.
So,
oh, the good old days.
I went to PAX Prime 2011. I went there twice, 2010 and 2011, because I have friends in Seattle, and it seemed like a fun time. I went to one of the panels where the people who do the Penny Arcade comic, basically they draw the next day's panel in front of the audience while doing Q&A. And one of the chicks comes up and asks them if they could draw Derpy Hooves into the comic, and the crowd literally goes wild, and I was confused as shit. So what I do is I pull up my iPhone like you do, and I looked up Derpy Hooves, and sure enough, there was a My Little Pony Wikipedia, which even for back then is impressive that existed. And I was just like, you can't be serious. And my friend looks to me and says, first of all, don't call me Shirley.
Oh,
and second of all, he said, shh. So I looked it up when we got back to the apartment that night, a little bit more. And that was actually a time when one of my friends got me hooked on Cheeseburger Network, which was like the first time I saw Rage Comics and Advice Animals and all that shit. And once I went through like 40 pages of Rage Comics, because I was totally hooked on that shit, they had a section just titled Bronies. And so I clicked on it, and holy crap, was there like 10s to 20s of pages of pony content. And then I was like, well, I have to find out. So I got back home, watched a few episodes on YouTube, then I watched a few more, and I watched a few more, and yada yada, every brony story ever, pretty much. Now, in terms of like my family knowing about it, they know about it. They know I run BronyCon. They totally respect it and the work I put into it. The only thing that's really interesting is whenever I travel, because I travel for work too, as well as going to Brony conventions to represent BronyCon, have fun, etc. If I ever travel, my mom asks me, "Is it for work or is it for Brony?" And it's just like, and that's about as far as it goes with them.
I think it's funny you mentioned Cheeseburger Network, because that's where I got my start. It's like kind of
that's like, where Battle of the Brony. That's where I found out about Battle of the Brony.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I searched it, but then I found it was posted there, and I was like, wow, huh.
Well, I find it funny because at the time when I first stumbled across My Little Pony, I prided myself as an internet warrior, and I wanted to be up to date with all these different sayings, like 20% cooler. These are inside jokes. I don't understand them. Where can I go to figure them out? So I decided to go watch an episode. I didn't like it. I went through and watched another episode, and I loved it. And that's where it all began, amongst other things that moved me along. But Cheeseburger Network, yeah. It's the bane of many of existences. The downfall of many into ponydom.
My story is simple.
Let's hear it.
I like cute shit. So I went on 4chan back in the darker days when I went to that cesspool of a site.
The darker days.
So yeah, I went there. I was looking at Ko. I cannot remember. I was browsing Ko.
I was browsing Ko.
But I actually was. I can't remember. There was something I was looking for there. Something I was into at the time. I can't remember what it was. But I was on Ko. And there was just a whole bunch of ponies. I was like, what the bum is all this pony stuff for? So I was like, they kind of look like anime. I like anime. I'm a weeaboo, whatever. And I was like, they're also cute. I like cute shit. So I was like, all right. I'm a pretty open-minded fellow. Let's try the ponies out. And then I watched the first episode. A lot of people are like, the first episode is whatever. I didn't really get into it. I got into it immediately. I was like, yo, this is dope. I love this. And so, as far as my family knowing, my parents sort of like Toms are like they're like okay, but inside they're like this fucking weirdo. Dude's ridiculous. I have no son. That whole
Anime
thing.
was bad enough.
But so my brother was actually at a party because what was that? That was I don't remember what day it was. It was the weekend before Suited for Success aired. There was only 13 episodes of the show out. So I called my brother. He was at a party of some sort, and I was like, Richie, so I was watching this thing, and I think I kind of like it. He's like, ponies. It's like, maybe. He's like, oh my god, they got you. I'm like, yeah.
It's so funny because I can imagine your brother, because your brother is always smiling.
It's why I never smile, I guess. I think he actually took all the. I think he actually took all the smileys, to be honest. But yeah, that's basically how it ended up. My family took it pretty easily. It was my friends that were like, you a pony faggot, you pony faggot. I was like, Jesus Christ, please.
Yeah.
Like, are you a furry now? It's like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, you clout the ponies. No, shut it. Yeah, that's the pony story.
I'm with you there. Like,
Yeah.
I got a way more negative reaction from friends than
Right.
my parents. Actually,
Yo, I did
remember,
too. Friggin' man.
I was gonna say I remember quite vividly what both of my parents said when they found out that I was watching that show. Because I never told my parents, because first off, it's not like a lot of people say this, it's not a lifestyle, it's just a hobby, and I'm not gonna tell everybody about everything that I like. So I felt it really wasn't their business, and I felt it really didn't matter. So I wasn't afraid of it, but I wasn't going to tell anybody either. Anyway, I remember I was downstairs, and a couple of my friends came down, and one of them gave me a pony toy. It was my friend Jesse, and he goes, "Oh, hey, I have something for you." And I went, "Yeah," and he took out a pony toy, and he goes, "See, I'm a good friend to my pony faggots." And I just looked at him, and my mom was downstairs, and I took the toy,
Wow.
and I went, "Yay!" And I looked at the toy, and my mom was looking at me, and she goes, "Wow, I never thought I'd see the day." And that was the only thing she said. And then I remember I told my dad, because I guess someone told him, and he was just like, "So what's this thing I'm hearing about you liking ponies or something?" And I was like, "Oh, what?" I said I watched the My Little Pony cartoon. And he looked at me, and he just kind of started nodding, and he goes, "Well, I like ballet, so." and that was the end of the discussion.
That is an A+ answer.
Wow, what a good dad. I love that.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. Oh, my Uncle John Scott was the only guy who gave me positive.
Oh yeah.
I love this.
Reunion. Yeah.
John Scott is an idol. I look up to him. He's a role model for me. Very jolly, good guy. And I remember none of my family really gave me any support for the pony stuff. And this was back when I was finally getting some traction on YouTube, where I was hitting around like 10,000 subscribers. And I remember driving up to Nashville to visit my friend for the weekend. And I was kind of broken up over the pony stuff, just because, it's like my family, it's not the ponies that matter, it's the fact my family won't support me, and that hurt. And he called me on the phone, and he's like, "Steven, I heard about this pony stuff. I think it's awesome." I'm like, "What?" He's like, 10,000 subscribers, you can go places, man. Keep it up. Doesn't matter what you do, just do your best at it. I'm like, yeah, I will. And that was the one person who, besides my friends, who supported me. So that was cool.
Sounds like a real asshole.
Oh my god, he's the worst.
Kidding, he sounds awesome.
This is the guy who, like, okay, those TV shows where you have like Ed Bassmaster who'll go out in public and just like mess with people and keep a straight face. My uncle's like that. Where my little sister Rachel, we're at a family reunion. She got a crochet kit and she knitted this piece of cloth that was just horrible, disgusting colors, and it looked like a cozy and a pillow had a disgusting abortion baby or whatever. So my sister's like, "Uncle John, this is for you." And there's this little string that you have the main part of the cloth, which is about as big as your fist, and a little string that attached around to it. So it's like a piece of clunk of cloth with a string. And he's like, "Oh, this is beautiful." and we're getting ready to go to Christmas sermon for Christmas. It was a family Christmas reunion, and he has his like nice clothes on, and he puts the thing around his arm like awkwardly. He's like, I'm gonna wear this tonight. So he's wearing this with a stone face and walks inside, and the pastor's greeting everybody, and the pastor's like looks at him, he's like, John, what are you wearing? And John with a stone face is like, it's part of my ensemble. And he just wore it through the entire night without even like taking it off. He just wore it like it was anything else. And that's where I started gaining my respect for like for comedy and for maintaining straight faces. I love that.
Can you explain to me?
Yes.
Can you explain to me what an abortion baby is?
Something that's very inappropriate for a podcast.
Oh, really? Oh, dear.
What?
Okay.
Right back.
Okay. Here's a question for Josh. From Anonymous, do you think the con attendance will lower each year after the show ends? How will BronyCon react to it? And have you ever thought about it?
Oh, I'd be damned irresponsible if I never thought about it. So yeah, that's your answer is yes. You bet that I've thought about it. After the show ends, well, after the show ends is a really interesting thing.
Yeah, because My Little Pony will probably still be going on.
It will.
The franchise itself.
It will. Or at least I believe it will. I have a feeling by the time, whenever that may happen, I really hate to be that guy who pulls out these kind of quotes, but I think Wayne Gretzky kind of put it best when he says, "Don't go where the puck is going, or don't go where the puck is going, go where the puck is going to be." And I think in the very near future, we'll start seeing BronyCon go where the puck is going to be. I think we all know that this isn't going to be here forever. And you know what? Maybe it will. Maybe I'm totally wrong when I say that. And this will be here for 10, 15 years, and everything will be that way. But I mean, it's a very real thing that BronyCon and any pony convention really has to think about, and that is, putting it very bluntly, adapt or die. And that time will come. The death of pony conventions knocks on everybody's doors, and it's all a matter of how you respond to it. And I am confident that BronyCon will respond to it both early and appropriately.
All right.
Did I miss any parts of the question? That was like a 3-part question.
That was a good answer.
I think that covers it. Another question from Anonymous. I know you already said that you guys are going to do a new non-pony podcast in 2015, but there's any chance that Brony Breakdown will come back one day?
No, it would be like beating a dead horse. No pun intended.
Yeah,
It's just like,
though I think we might still do like convention-specific Brony Breakdowns.
even then, I feel that's kind of weird. But it's not another question. As far as the
here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you allow me to cut in,
of course,
is that even though the show is stopping, our involvement with the fandom is not.
Oh.
And maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but for me personally, at least, and you guys can agree or disagree, that anything that I do going forward, as long as I'm still interested in the show, Pony is going to be a part of it. Like my channel right now, like I'm not just doing specifically Pony anymore, but Pony's still in the mix, because the things that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create content around what I'm interested in, and Pony is still very much a part of that. So while it's not the whole story, it's still a part of who I am, and it's still gonna be a part of what I'm doing. So I think if we did start doing a podcast, like every now and then it probably would come up, because that's part of who we are, and it's what we're still into. As long as we're still into it, it's probably gonna be something we still talk about. So yeah. Will Brony Breakdown come back? Well, never say never, but it's definitely not any of our cards right now. I don't think any of us are thinking about like even a contingency plan for that, but who knows. But in terms of like, it's not like any of us are leaving the fandom, or any of us are just like exercising our pony interest entirely. It's just we have other plans that I think are going to be better for the long term and going back to where the puck's going to be, like I think it's better for where our heads are and what we want to do, but it's not like closing a chapter. It's just kind of like expanding to other things and making stuff even better than what we're doing right now.
Well said. Very well said. All right. Is there anybody else who wants to answer the question, or are we moving on?
Well, that was mainly specific for us since it was about Brony Breakdown. But here's a question. I'm assuming it's going to be about Brony Breakdown. Is what do you most regret about this?
I also another question with who was our favorite person to interview on Brony Breakdown.
Yeah.
That was Josh Dean.
Wait, what was the question? I totally got distracted for a second.
No. I was one of the questions on my Tumblr I received was, who was one of our favorite people to interview on Brony Breakdown? Truly, interviewing with you was fantastic. It was actually very professional.
Did we do it before, or are we talking about right now?
Right now, actually, I was like, wow, this is a...
Yeah, all right, totally.
We're never this well put together.
Yeah, I was like,
what we do.
Wow. But as far as ones in the past, nothing's really jumping out at me immediately. I remember the Fem Philosophy one was kind of fun.
Fuck out!
Matt, please.
Wow.
And he's dead. Thus ended
It'd be
Brony.
So much
funny if
for
there's
that
like-
professionalism. There it goes.
What are these
Sorry,
guys?
I'm sorry, I was yelling. My cat keeps trying to come.
No, I'm pretending it was a ghost that haunts your house. Get out! Get the fuck out!
Sorry, I
Boyle's
muted
like,
myself
Matt just
before,
had a
I'm sorry.
breakdown. A Brony breakdown.
Oh Lord Almighty.
Sounds like a paleo joke. God.
That's not a paleo joke. A paleo joke is more like a gay breakdown. Paleo's jokes can be summed up with either penis or gay.
Oh Lord. The worst thing in Brony Breakdown. Okay, I do remember there was an interview one time. I was just so out of it that day, like more so than usual, and I forget some people who put together this so great and powerful.
Oh yeah, it was for Story 52. It was And the Rainfall and a few others that put together this whole thing for SOGAP. It was like a tribute album for them, but we never had them on.
We tried to, and
Yeah.
it was a mess because I was in a bad mood that day. There was technical issues, and I don't know. I felt something was wrong that day, and we were trying to get the stream up and running, and we finally did. And I started talking. I thought, you know what? I just can't do this right now. I'm sorry, I can't. Guys, we'll have to interview some other time, which we never did. And I shut the stream down, and I kind of rage quit. And I was that was very unprofessional of me. So, I mean, this show isn't like the standard of professionalism, but still, that was I think the word is rude. I'm looking for. That was very rude of me. What?
I'm sorry, my brother sneezed, so I said bliss.
I said bliss, like BLISS. I'm like, what?
No,
Yeah.
my brother sneezed, said thank you sarcastically, and then I said bliss.
Bliss. But yeah, that was it for me. That was a bad moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. I know I had some other silly moments where I've said dumb stuff. I can't recall off the top of my head. I actually would have to depend on the chat to recall for me of stupid mannerisms and whatnot. But that's I do definitely remember that moment. What about you, Paleo?
Let's see, something I regret. I don't know, probably not uploading like consistently.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were bad at being consistent, and by we I mean myself. So trying to I don't know. Yeah, we lacked consistency. Tom, in the short amount of time that you were here, is there anything that you kind of?
I regret ever signing up for this damn show. No, there really is nothing I regret. I mean, it's been a good ride, and you know, I don't know. I don't think I did anything too horrible.
I said elbow penis apparently back in 2013 from what chat tells me. All right.
Okay, here's a question from Sci-Fi Brony. Paleo, does my donation make me your favorite BronyCon staff member that isn't Josh Dean?
Oh,
Yes.
Bye, Brony.
Because he gave me a huge back catalog of Nintendo Power magazines that he had. So yeah, I'll think Sci-Fi Brony again for that
And it
because
was
that's
happy.
that's about a
It was
third of that collection complete. So yeah, that was really awesome of him to give me those.
Nice. All right.
Here's from Golden Fox, who has been
Hey,
he's been a mod in the chat and also a fantastic reviewer on YouTube.
and a viewer of the show. Like
Yeah.
both Golden Fox, Loyal. I'm showing you some other names. Gatapia, Gavin, Gatapia, whatever. You know, I love these guys. Like their family. Gatapia. There's a few other ones. I'll have to go through the thing here, but it's fun. I was looking through the people who have mods because some of them I haven't seen in a long time. Like some of these names might ring a bell for some of the viewers who have been watching for a long time, like Craig, Human Lyra, Kaigem, Konami, Mini Amoeba. I have no idea whatever happened to that guy.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened to him.
Funky Matt's still around, but I don't talk to him very often. Sharpshooter, Trippy Mist. Those are the people who are like our core friends back in the day, and then things just kind of fell apart. But Loyal's always been around, staying very true to his name.
Happy birthday.
But yeah, Golden. What?
It's Tapio's birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy
The
birthday!
podcast is dead. No.
Goodbye.
Anyway, Golden Fox question is: out of your entire experience of hosting the series, what do you feel proud of the most for the community? I guess out of all the content that we've shared over the past couple of years.
That's a good question, Golden Fox.
What was the question? I'm sorry, I was not listening.
What do you feel proud of the most for the community? Like out of the content that we've shared on the show.
Well, that is a very nice question. What are you guys most proud of?
I'm trying to think. The things
But like, if you had to show somebody something the community made, it'd be like, this is
Well,
ridiculous.
I'm trying to think of the moment that like floored me the most when reviewing content. Like the recent one that got me was that Raycord stuff, the game. When
The
Oh
Discord
yeah,
thing?
yeah, the Discord
That was
game.
Yeah.
that floored me. I'm like, that's so cool looking. That's so cool. Yeah, that's my answer because it's the one that's the most fresh in my head.
Dang it, that was my answer too. I had to think of something
Yeah,
different.
I was
share.
gonna. What?
We can share an answer.
Good. Okay.
I was gonna say the remix Apple that Mystery Bin
That was
showed at
ridiculous,
Brony
yeah.
Fanfare, and
Yes.
then we showed it on like the live Brony breakdown at Brony Fanfare because he was just showing it on his netbook, and I was like, hey, come on my panel, we'll show it to an audience, because he was just showing it in the hallway. So yeah, Mystery Bin stuff is fantastic.
That's pretty cool. Tom?
I mean, I guess this is kind of a cop-out answer, but I think like the thing I'm most kind of proud of or most like impressed by is just the progression. You know, like, 'cause I've watched the show forever, and like the content just gets more and more like complicated and insane, and like pushing the boundaries. And I guess it's kind of a statement for like the fandom in general, on top of just what we've shown on the show. It's just like people continue to push the envelope, and like, you know, the longer the show went on, the more like impressive things became. Not to belittle anything that came before it, but just how the fandom continued to expand and try new things and get more professional, and like how everyone kind of just like helped each other out and like pushed each other, and I don't know, I just think like the show was an interesting like kind of document of how the fandom itself grew. So I'm proud that like we were able to kind of help kind of facilitate spreading those things around and sing its praises when things deserve to be praised.
I want to hop in for a moment. I read something in chat that just made me remember. Remember how for a while the PMVers were having like almost like video fads, like
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
Yeah.
those ones.
Yeah.
And there's another one, the Apple Bloom.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the fad videos were fantastic. It's almost like every month they had a new fad and they moved into another one, and then just stopped all of a sudden. That was a good time. Like Dabu X or Dabu
Gabu.
Debu Zion.
Yeah, he made a bunch of those ones with like I love reading, I love trees, I love animals kind of thing with different
Yeah.
ponies. That was cool. But all right, next question.
So, real quick, before the next question, can I
Yeah.
let you in on a deep, dark secret?
Of course.
No.
The deepest, darkest of all secrets?
Oh,
Saber,
yes.
I have never, ever
I'm hurt. I'm already hurt.
watched an episode.
Oh, what?
I've never
Of
seen
what?
an episode of this. I've literally
Oh.
never.
Oh, I thought you meant My Little Pony. I'm like,
I
get
thought you
out.
meant-
I'm like, get out of here. You gotta be kidding me.
No, but in that vein, something really super hilarious. My head of guest relations doesn't even really watch the show, as he likes to put it, he doesn't even go here.
Well,
but he's just really good at his job. But no, I've never actually seen an episode of Bernie Breakdown in my life. I only knew of you.
Get out of here.
Saber. I don't even remember how I knew of you.
I think we were introduced through Final Draft at Equestria LA.
Yeah, that was just it. That was just how we met. I didn't even really know what you did then.
I didn't really know much about you either at the time. I knew that I eventually knew to know that you and Fulton were part of the BronyCon staff and were hanging out with us. And it's funny because like we're not very open to bringing new people in our groups because it feels kind of invasive. But you just fit right in there. It was perfect. So
Well, we're gonna have to do Disneyland again.
yes, definitely.
But that said, I actually want to hijack, and I have a question for you guys.
Yes,
Oh.
fire away.
So even though I've not seen an episode or anything, I gotta know. I mean, you guys have done this now for what, 3 years, 2 years?
About
Not
2
two.
years, yeah.
2 years.
Why'd you keep doing it? What drove you to keep going?
For the money.
You sounded so posh and white and rich. For the money.
You're like, oh, of course.
well played, Matt. Well played. Oh, the timing. The money, of course. Oh, you'll be a great CEO someday. I can't answer on Tom and Paley's behalf, but I mean, since Paley and I have been doing it longer, it was just something that was fun. I have to say it's the audience that makes it the most fun because it's so cool to hop online and talk and have people who actually care to hear what you have to say. That's really cool. And it got to the point where it's like, well, I don't want to let them down. We got to come up every week and I want to tell them something they will enjoy and it's also fun for us to just hear ourselves talk about this stuff and voice our opinions and whatnot and watch and see the content grow in the fandom as well. So yeah, I guess it was fun at the end of the day. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I came in later because for a while, Saber was like inundated with like real life work stuff, so he needed someone else to come in and do the show. And so Peo asked me if I would do it, and I like agreed instantly, even though I was like super busy with all my own stuff. Just because, again, like I mentioned earlier, Brony Breakdown is like where I met all these guys. It's where I really got like completely like engulfed in the fandom, was like through like seeing all the stuff that I never would have found on my own because I was just so busy like working on my own stuff. So it just introduced me to a ton of new people and a ton of new content. It just pretty much cemented my obsession with horses. So when I was approached with being part of something that had affected me so much the last year and change, I was like, absolutely, I have to. So I wanted to give back because these guys had done so much to like bring me into the fold and show me so much stuff and become my friend. So I felt not a sense of obligation, but like almost like a sense of respect. Like it just, I don't know, it just felt like the right thing to do. So that's all I got.
Well said.
Yeah, you know.
One of those shows
Matt just did it for the horse fan.
What if I just
That's
we
what
just end the show right on that? You know.
No, I was
the bada bing bada boom, man.
I was gonna say
What was that?
Oh my God.
I was gonna say I kept doing it because really I liked showing content to people that otherwise wouldn't really see it, I guess, because originally like Saber and I would get some content together, we put it down in a document, and then we show it to people. Eventually, it was only me finding the content.
I got very comfortable with that.
Yeah. And I'd show I put together a document, and then we'd show music and videos of stuff the fandom had put out. And I don't know, it was just satisfying to like be able to spread that around for people. So
we're coming to the end here, aren't we?
yeah, I think so.
Want to do one last big question?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can find one.
Make it a good one, Paleo. Dang it. Who's going to have the honor of being the last?
Oh, here's one, and it's from BVids.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Shoot.
Last
Let's
question on
hear
the show.
question.
Let's hear
Okay,
it.
if you can recall, what is your favorite or top 3 favorite moments from doing Brony Breakdown these past couple of years?
There's that Pink song you and we came up with. You know, it's not Pink Punk or something like that.
Oh yeah, it's Pink Punk. Yeah, it's not Pink Funk, it's Pink Punk.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I have to say, what else?
There's the Robo Paleo thing.
Robo Paleo, yes, because you kept glitching early on.
Yeah, because that's when I still was using my netbook.
Yeah, that's right. You're using that book. And God, there's something else.
Chicken nugget.
I think the Dragon Ball Z one with my song was pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Yes!
God, that was great.
That was fantastic. Yes, I think that's the top 3 right there. Well said. Dragon Ball Z.
That was great.
Oh, what about you, Paleo? You agree on that?
I'm trying to think of some more moments.
Your laughter.
Paleo, I
in
liked
the
when me and
videos
you
was great.
derailed the show and we got into an argument about Nintendo for like 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, we did.
That was funny. And then I was like, this better be the
It's just
intro
like
for
you
the
arguing
show, and then you
nothing.
cut it out. You jerk.
You were basically arguing at a brick wall because I didn't say anything.
You know what? That's exactly where you should have been because you had no defense because I was totally right.
Yeah, whatever.
There's just so much
I
to
don't
go.
know. Brick Wall's pretty good defense.
I crushed that brick wall with my fist. What else was good? I like how. Was it both times? I know the first time I was on the show as a guest, it got deleted.
Yeah, the second time as a guest, it still got deleted.
Yeah, so I've never had an actual episode that people have ever been able to watch again. So that was funny. That's a good memory. Those episodes live on in my mind.
Oh,
It was a good ride. And I look back to go like watching the old episodes someday. I'm sure we'll find some diamonds in the rough here and there.
When you're 80, you're like, what the hell was I doing back then?
That voice. What Well, first off, you're generous thing. I'll make it that an age. Thank you. You don't know the Carver genetics, do you? But we're predisposed to die early on. Yeah, it's been a good ride. It really has.
associate family with death.
I want to bring in Loyal Brony quickly, and because I want to give him one last word because he's been moderating in a very loyal viewer for a long time, and then we'll close this out. Loyal, there, buddy. Loyal. Oh, I forgot to mention he's actually mute. He doesn't have a voice, so he's typing furiously. I'll have to read it for you.
That's why he is so loyal, because he can't talk.
Yes. Loyal.
No oppression. You will follow our rules.
Loyal. Oh, I heard an echo. I'm literally speaking, he said. We can't hear you. It's not working, he said.
Oh no.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Hello.
Figuratively speak. Maybe that'll work better.
We'll wait and see what happens.
So in the meantime, I learned how to talk like Porky Pig thanks to Tumblr.
What?
Oh yeah, that was from the
Yeah.
I Know that voice.
Yeah.
What are you talking
I know
about?
how to do it.
That documentary is great.
How do you do it?
What? I'll explain it to you later. It takes too long.
There's like an actual rule to
Oh,
it.
I heard that.
Oops, someone plugged in. Oh, there it
Heard
is.
that too.
What's going on here? Oh God. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello. The Ice Cold Water guy said he'd be on the podcast. He's not showing up. Loyal, is that you?
Is this working now?
Yes.
There you
Yes.
go.
When in doubt, use your old goddamn headsets. Jesus.
I don't know. Mine just fuzzed out on me this time around. But guys, this is Loyal.
God.
He's been moderating the chat for a few months now. A very a good viewer and good friend of ours.
Yeah, guys, listen, I just want to say, like, I came out here really late. For all you guys in the chat right now, I want to thank you all because you guys are an amazing group of people who I've had the pleasure to view with, moderate with, and just in general have countless great times with, all right? All of you, we wouldn't be here today for you if it wasn't for you guys to be coming back here every Thursday night and making this show so goddamn great. I love you all, seriously. Thanks, guys.
Loyal, thank you for pretty much wow. You pretty much said it right there and then. You guys are the ones who make the show possible. Thank you so much. Thank you for week in and week out coming back to watch us make fools of ourselves and occasionally get a laugh out of you guys. And thank you, Loyal, for moderating it all.
Been my pleasure, man. Has been for, well, moderating was, yes, for the past few months, but being here in general, it's been a great 2 years.
It has. It really has. Well, guys, it's worth mentioning as well that just because this is the end of the podcast, we will still come on live stream every so often, to watch movies and video games. So as long as you're following me on Twitter or one of us on Twitter, you'll know when we stream, and we'll still have laughs and goof off. So it's not the end of the live stream, just going to be the end of the podcast. And I'm sure we'll be back in 2015 with something brand new to pick up where we leave off. So, guys, that is it for this episode of Bernie Breakdown. Before we leave, I want to play one last song. Let me find it.
Is it what I'm thinking it is?
Is it what I'm thinking it is?
What?
What I think it is.
I want to hear it now because I'm probably not. I want to hear it.
The best outro song for anything, and particularly something you use for Ballad of the Brony.
Yes, dude. How'd you know?
I know you like an open book, man, and honestly, that song is the second most played on my iTunes.
How did you know? Seriously, how did you know? How did you know?
Chips, RFID chips in all of us, man. Remember?
Yes. By the way, if you
Right.
hear beeping, don't worry.
Oh my gosh.
But
What?
dude, I'm just telling you. I remember. Okay, real talk, real quick. I remember when I first saw Ballad of the Brony and I heard that ending to it. I'm like, this is like the best song for any outro for this thing. Like literally, I remember thinking this is like the greatest credit music I've ever heard. It's so simple, but it just hits it. It's not like a goodbye so long. It's over, but the journey still goes on.
Exactly.
great.
Wow,
But
I'm
yes.
I'm super impressed that you knew that. I'm actually blown away. I think you probably should have been running this podcast the entire time. It's just now occurring to me. Oh my gosh. Well, guys,
Brony Breakdown 2, run by Loyal Brody.
moderated occasionally by Saber Spark, who showed up once for about 20 minutes. But
Back.
oh lordy.
Oh,
Well,
God.
Well, guys, thank you for watching, and this is it. So, Josh, thank you for being our guest this episode. It was awesome talking to you. BronyCon was a blast. We look forward to and we look forward to seeing what you all do next year.
Me too.
Yeah.
Matt Irasashi, Loyal, thank you for joining us as random guest and always being around to have fun with us. Tom, thank you for jumping into Bernie Breakdown when things were looking kind of bad, for being the host who eventually became part of the family. And Paleo, thank you for that Hot Pocket you bought me at BronyCon.
Thank you for that.
But no, thank you for starting this endeavor with me back in the day. It's been a group effort that I completely take all credit for. So, no, love you, audience, love you guys, and we'll see y'all whenever the next time rolls around. I'm playing the music now, and I'm going to pause the live stream or the Skype here so I can play it emotionally. All right.
Well, it was fun being all your friends. See ya.
All right, so this is us signing off. All right, see you guys.
Bye.
Peace, guys.
We're not ending it on Paleo's like droopy dog. Bye. Wow. Oh dear. Looks like Brody Breakdown's coming to an end. Love you guys. Thank you for watching.
I used to wonder what friendship could be, until you all shared its magic with me. Big adventure, tons of fun, a beautiful heart, faithful and strong. Sharing kindness, it's an easy feat, and magic makes it all complete. You gotta share, you gotta care. It's the right thing to do. Do you know you're all my very best friends? Winter wrap, let's finish our holiday cheer. Winter wrap, 'cause tomorrow spring is here. Winter wrap, let's finish our holiday cheer. Winter wrap, 'cause tomorrow spring is here. Stitch by stitch, stitching it together. Deadline looms, don't you know the client's always right? Even if my fabric choice was perfect, gotta get them all done by tonight. Picky by the colors, too obtrusive. Wait until you see it in the light. All we ever want is indecision. All we really like is what we know. Gotta balance style with adherence, making sure we make a good appearance. Even if you simply have to budget, make sure that it stays within our budget. Got to overcome intimidation. Remember, it's all in the presentation.
Guys, thank you for watching. It truly means a lot to me. And I'm saying this also on the behalf of Paleo and Tom and other people who have appeared on Bernie Breakdown and been a part of it. Thank you all so much for watching over the years. It's been a big part of my life, and I promise that we'll come back someday with another stream, another podcast to pick up where we left off. And until then, hopefully you all will stick around. We love you all. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next time.